Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt, man! All right, episode 39 of Shirt Show. We're talking with Justin from Oklahoma Shirt Company in Oklahoma. Let's go!
So Fine 69 is in the waiting room. So we better get on with our sponsors so that we can get going, and start talking to our guest, right?
So Fine 69.
Yeah, we don't want to keep him waiting. He's probably, I hear he's potentially on a beach.
I hope
Not
so.
sure. I hope so too.
I hope he's just like shirtless on the beach.
But we do have some sponsors we want to thank, and one of them is Easy Way.
It's the easiest way. You know what? I was thinking when we were on the road trip, we listened to a bunch of like 3 or 4 Joe Rogans, and he has this whole long like script that obviously the company gave him about their info and all that. I was like, why are we not asking Easy Way or Monarch for like, hey, give us some stuff that you might want us to say, because we are horrible at this.
Well, I don't know, Dylan. I think because what we say is from the heart.
It's from the heart, but we say it's the easiest way every time.
Or maybe it is that they're like, the first time we said that, they're like, oh my gosh, like we got to get these guys a script because they're blowing it. And then the second time they heard it, and then the third time they heard, they're like,
they put up billboards that said it's the easiest way on it.
Like, this is growing on me. It just makes sense. It is easier. I had somebody message me and said, hey, Easy Way product showed up today. It better be the easiest way or something like that. So we're putting our butts on the line for this.
Yeah. Well, we went to both of those shops this weekend and they both used Easy Way.
That's right. It's good shit.
Yeah. Yep.
So we have another sponsor too. I need my button that I can.
I know.
Okay, so when I hit here, I'm going to hit it. Ready? Hold on. This is my button. Ready?
Frank.
That's all we need there too.
I know.
Right.
I hope he sets up a booth at a trade show and he has like a fucking air horn or something that does that every so often.
That's right. There's a certain ring to it. There's other companies have their slogans and their songs, a jingle, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you don't need a jingle when you've got that.
You just have Frank.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And what Frank does best is he stretches screens and he stretches them to perfection.
Right. Just buy your screens from Frank.
Yeah.
If you're getting statics.
Our third sponsor that we love also, and gosh, isn't Aaron like a super handsome dude?
Fantastic.
Yeah. And his voice is just as handsome.
So soothing.
I know. I
I had a really hard time with my facial hair when I saw him with that handlebar mustache the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it. But no, I mean, even just willing to do that, like hop on with us and give us like the answer to, low cure versus standard cure inks, just to hop on, clarify that, we've gotten a good response from that video. And it's not about us making videos and trying to get content or whatever. It's like us legitimately trying to get some good answers for stuff like that. And he knows the answer. So we asked him.
Yeah.
They're good dudes.
I had a friend I went to dinner with actually on Thursday, and it was this place we went it was a trip, man. It had shower curtains in between each table that have like the shower curtain liner with magnets at the bottom.
It seems super sketchy. Where did you go eat?
That's the county. So St. Louis County is pretty strict still. They haven't lifted. So you could take a shower if you want, right?
I really want to know how this relates to Monarch.
Oh, well, the guy who I was out with is like, hey, I want to give Monarch a try. Or the mixing system. That's what he wanted to try, is their mixing system. And I said, well, here's the point I'm trying to make. Okay.
Get to it, please. Yeah.
I gave Aaron his number. Aaron called him boom, set them up. That's how it works.
I like it.
Print better, ink better.
Live Moss, Taco Bell.
Exactly. All right. Monarch, but probably should say that.
Oh, sorry. Monarch. I mean Monarch.
Probably should say that. So Fine 69 is getting ready to join us. Okay. That maybe would be his boy band name.
It has to be now.
We can maybe lead with that question right off the bat.
Right.
Justin, can you hear us? No, there he goes again.
He's fucking with us.
I saw him earlier, a post he had, and he had a bottle of Grey Goose delivered to his, what would you call it, cabana, and said he was ready. And I think this might be the result of it.
It worked.
Hey, can you hear us?
I can.
You look so tan right now.
Oh, tell me more. Go on.
We were hoping you'd be shirtless, but whatever. We'll see how it goes. Oh, hell yeah.
All you got to do is ask, baby.
So much better. He needed permission.
Dylan, shirts off. Let's go shirtless for 30 seconds.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I love how easily he can pull his shirt off and also put it back on.
Been practicing.
This is what I would look like with no top on.
Do you just have that sitting next to your desk all the time?
Yeah.
Just in case?
Yeah. In case when people come in with stupid questions I don't want to hear, I put that on and then I can ignore them.
Well, we have some quick takes at the very end, but there's one that I think is appropriate just to kick it off with. Right. If you were in a boy band, what would its name be? And I sure hope you say a certain answer that we already know. And that was
Can I have a hint? Because I want to nail it. Oh, funny. Let me tell you this story. So I kid you not. This is at least the 40th time that I've reset that. I was on a Zoom call with our city council and governor 2 weeks ago, and it said so fine 6'9", and I said, well, here's what I have to fix real quick. So when the pandemic started, I downloaded Zoom and I said, let's do this. And so I set it up, and my best friend, dude who has been with me from the beginning, Jaron, was our production. He's been lots of things. We'll get into Jaron in our therapy session here in a little bit. But he would always say so fine 6'9". I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So naturally, when I had to pick a screen name, I picked so fine 6'9". And I apologize to every person going forward. And I can't, it's comical that I have to, you go participants, and then you go me, and then you go rename, and then you type in Justin Lawrence, and you hit done, and it should save. And now it says Justin Lawrence, but
no, well, that's the thing is we were more proud of you that it said so fine 69 than if it said Justin Lawrence.
Fixing it again.
So we were hoping that your boy band name would have been so fine 69.
Well, no, our boy band was so fine 6'9", and we actually had a boy band, and that's what it was called.
Well,
that's not true.
There you go.
Any requests? I'm a little rusty, but I can bust out some of the hits for you guys.
I want to know what the top 5 hits for so fine 6'9" is.
They're basically Backstreet Boys covers that are done wrong.
Right. 98 degrees.
I'd buy that.
And 69 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Keep going. We can riff on 69 all day.
All right.
That's what she said.
So tell us about your trip. What's going on down there?
Yeah. So we are in beautiful Playa del Carmen, Mexico. And my sister, her brother-in-law, so my sister's brother, my brother-in-law, and their sister live in North Carolina. And so we look for an excuse to try to get together each year or two. And our COVID fatigue, pandemic fatigue had reached an all-time high. And so we're just like, we have to figure out how we can be responsible and get the heck out of town. And so with vaccinations and with testing and all of the things, it's still a little reckless, but we just said, we got to go. So we found direct flights, and we said, how can we mitigate the risk as much as possible and then get down here and enjoy each other and enjoy this place and do this. And so vaccines were one of the things that helped us. It's still reckless. I didn't realize until I got down here. I have a guy that works with me. I refer to him affectionately as Jafar. and his name is Quint, and Quint helps me just make all of my best and sometimes worst decisions. And Quint texted me while I was out here, and he was like, bro, you know what the CDC says about international travel? And I said, no, probably should. So then I looked and I said, well, I'm going to work from home for a week. And so me and my wife and the kids, we're going to stay at home when we get back, just to do all things as, good as possible, and then go back to work, make some t-shirts.
It's awesome. So it's nice down there right now.
It's very nice. It's a little windy. I really wanted to do this on the beach, but I got out there and I said, nah,
Just
too windy
the whole time.
What are you doing, Justin? It's a hurricane and tornado. No.
Justin, I'm right there with you. I could use a week or more than that, even of vacay myself. And I think we were trying to get out maybe in a week or so to get away for a minute. So, but you're right. You've got to be responsible and make sure that you travel with, I guess, the least risk possible. But I'm looking forward to it. So not sure where we're going yet. It's kind of last minute. That's what we do a lot, because it's so hard, I think, to plan, and choose the right week when we're just the right amount of busy and all that stuff. And so we usually wait till almost the last minute.
Well, it was like I hit you up a little while ago there about Disney. So how was that with masks?
Oh, dude, Disney was actually, it's funny. So Disney was awesome. Disney was reckless. Again, if you're going to do it, own it and own all of the things. We decided that this Christmas was we weren't going to get to have a normal Christmas. We weren't going to get to see our family, our friends, and the people that we normally want to see. So we just said, my kids, I have a daughter that's Charlie, she's 5, and a son named Jackson, and he's 7. And so my wife and I were sitting around and we're just like, how can we make this Christmas extra special? And we decided, like, this might be the only kind of moonshot opportunity that we have without hurting anybody's feelings. And so I said, let's spend Christmas at Disney. Let's go there and let's try to go to the Magic Kingdom on Christmas Day. And let's give our kids something like really meaningful in kind of a really shitty year that they can really, I don't know that my kids, it's funny, like being 5 and 7, I don't know that they'll remember any of this. My son likely, but my daughter probably not. So let's like galvanize that ultimate memory of that was the Christmas we spent at Disney, not the Christmas that we didn't get to see any of our family.
Did they do anything crazy at Magic Kingdom for Christmas?
Bro, as I realize there are lots of different people all over that have opinions about how things are handled that listen to this show. And so I'm just going to speak a little freely, and you're going to learn how I feel about things. I was really, really, really impressed with how Disney handled themselves. Florida, all we hear about in the news is how California is super conservative and has shut all of their businesses down. And Florida is worse than Texas, and it's the Wild West, and you can do whatever you want in Florida. And when I got down there, I like to wear gaiters. I like to wear gaiters because, first of all, it's convenient and it's the most comfortable. And I don't forget about it either. Like, I fidget. I was going to wear... Yeah, I got headphones I was going to wear, but I just touched them the whole time. So I was like, I can't have things that I touch. So a mask, like, I fidget with and move all the time. And a gaiter, I can at least pull it down, and then I'll find myself in a situation where I need to put a mask on, and it's there. So they wouldn't let you wear gaiters at Disney. No gaiters. Mm-hmm. And now we just found out and I guess this is the fruits of Joe Biden. The Federal Aviation Administration does not allow gaiters on flights. So if you're going to fly with a mask, because gaiters, they told me, said, sir, that doesn't work. And they gave me they were kind and gave me a mask, which I kind of want to get on a soapbox about, but I'm not going to. But so when you travel, don't travel with gaiters. So when we got to Disney, what you had to do was, before you got to Disney, you have to pre-book your parks. And I would say, like, I don't ever want to go to Disney. I want to only go to Disney the way in which we just went to Disney during COVID, because it was awesome. They limited all parks to 25% capacity, which is cool. The longest line I stood in was probably 45 minutes. You have to book all of your dining. You basically just have to have a reservation for everything, and you can't park hop. So normally, like, you can go, like, I can hit this park for a few hours and then go to this park for the rest of the day. And you can, once you go in a park, you can go back out and then you can go back in, but when we went, that was the rules. I think in January they allowed park hopping back. And they've also eliminated fast passes for the time being because they want as much of their space to distance people while they're in line. And so I felt very safe at Disney. I felt very safe because most of the time we were outside, and even the times that we weren't outside, it was very breezy. There was a lot of positive air flow the whole time, and everyone was wearing masks. And the Disney cast were very kind and reminding of everybody, like, hey, you need to have your mask up. And even like the little nose, like pop, you know, like, hey, nose, pop it up. And they wouldn't let anybody. So it was, I would recommend it highly.
Well, that's why I was asking you, because we already booked it. Like we're going next month, and it was the same thing. Like you just said, you have to pre-book everything. But the year before we went, we literally, the last day we were at Disney for our like full week there was the day they shut Disney down for COVID. So we were the same thing. Like my kids have been homeschooled. They haven't gone to school. They didn't want to do distance learning. We ended up just homeschooling them. And then, we were like, we got to get out of the house and do something. And my daughter was just like, every day she was like packing her bag. She's like, we're going to Disney. And I was like, I don't think we are. And then like Valentine's Day happened, and me and my wife were like, let's just look it up and like see what it is. And then it was like $3,000 cheaper than what it was last year. And we're like, screw it, let's just go. You know, same thing. We'll like mask up, do everything we got to do, but we need to get out of the house and do something.
How old are your kids, Dylan?
9 and 11.
Okay.
So
they still kind of believe in magic.
Yeah. Well, we lie to them every day. We're like, yeah,
there it is.
Real. But yeah, how's the shop right now?
The shop's good. Man, this is it's been a really hard year. There was, you know, leading up until this point, I boasted about, we've always made payroll and we've never laid anybody off and everything's always been fine. And we've had this, you know, trajectory of growth that's unlike anything we've ever witnessed. And dude, I laid off 18 people, and it was like I got punched in the stomach, and I went into like deep. I mean, everyone went through it in their own way. I went through deep, like I didn't sleep. I was anxious. I felt like I had let a bunch of people down. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then a few weeks later, we got to bring them all back. Well, let me say that differently. We got to bring the ones back that we wanted to, right? You have to use, as pragmatically as it sounds, you use opportunity to level up. And some of the people that we laid off, we mercifully did not bring back, and we acknowledge that with them. But you also, you know, if I'm going to have to figure out how to survive and be lean through this, then I need my best players, and I need people that are pot committed, because life's hard enough as it is. So if I catch whiff of one person, let alone not doing their job well, but not being appreciative of their job, that sends me on this, like, I'm already teetering on about to have like a attack. And so like, if someone else is just ungrateful for their job, then that's literally the last thing that I could stomach. So I think there were 2 or 3 people that we didn't bring back. But then we brought back fresh faces, and that's what's cool. If you're in a position where you can bring people back right now, the talent pool is rich and it's deep, and people are thankful. Yeah. People are thankful for jobs.
Were there any that you asked to come back that said no, or that had taken another position?
No. You know, I employ people that I'm the oldest. Well, I'm the second oldest person at our shop, and I'm 36. And so most of the people that we employ are between, like, I bet the like average age is 25, 26, maybe 24. And so like life hasn't set in for a lot of people. My dad owns a few construction companies, and he is having a harder time than I was, because it was people like, I'm making more money sitting on my ass than I do coming to work. And I wish there was justice for that. Maybe there will be one day, but it's hard when and I also told my dad, I was like, there's this thing that we care about called culture. Your people don't like their jobs, and they don't feel like they're part of a team or a family. And they like, why should they come to work? Because they feel like, you know, it's just, they're there to just do a job. And so it was positive confirmation that, you know, we do things well, I think. And to have people that are grateful to work, it certainly is a team that's grateful to be a part of.
Yeah. I mean, I was right there with you. You know, we laid off half our team, and I didn't bring everybody back all at once. I brought a couple and then a couple more, you know, because it was sort of like ramping up like that. It didn't all of a sudden turn back on for us. And so, but every time I really, really thought hard on who I was bringing back. And and when, and at what time. And there were a couple along the way. I think it was just two that I asked back. One had taken a position somewhere else and one actually refused and work. And it surprised me, but I was bringing back, and I always thought about that too. I thought it was like it warmed my heart when somebody said yes, and they said yes to coming back here, and it was for less pay than what they were receiving staying home. I mean, like you said, culture. It was like, that's so cool that they wouldn't just say, no, I'm cool, I'm going to stay home and collect the check. Instead, they came back here for less. And so, I don't know, that was big.
I will say one of the things that I'm learning through this is, so in Oklahoma, we have this thing, and I'm assuming everybody has this, but I'm going to pretend like nobody has this. So we have this thing called the Oklahoma Employment Securities Commission, and that's the OESC. And they're the people that are the governing body for unemployment benefits in Oklahoma. So if we contribute a portion, they take a portion of our payroll, and that's the taxes that people pay into their unemployment benefits. So in the past, leading up to COVID or the pandemic, I was convinced that it was almost a badge of shame, to have a high unemployment claim rate, which I think we could all probably agree that is true. You don't want to have high turnover because it's expensive and all of a myriad of reasons. So I used this opportunity to take advantage of this benefit. And I'd love to, if we could put a pin in something, I'd love to come to workers' comp too at some point as well. With the unemployment benefits, I'm trying to appreciate these things that our city and our government is offering as a benefit, and learning how to use them in a professional, consistent manner, and not something that I'm just this reckless screen printer that's flying by the seat of my pants all the time, trying to run a business like we all are. And I recognized that this unemployment thing is a good benefit. There are people, there's a gal that we just, there's a person that worked with us that my people are going to listen to this podcast, so I want to be sensitive. But there's an individual that worked with us, and I realized that her life, that she was in a position where she loved her job. I'm just going to be honest, screw it. If any of y'all people have an issue with this, come talk to me. I would love to unpack this more with you.
We're all about honesty.
That's fair.
That's fair. For real. If we can't be on, I listen to you guys' show, and I want to contribute because to me, it is a very public forum, but I learn a lot of stuff. And we don't get to the meat of it if we can't be honest, and we can. So anyways, I'm just going for it. So her life, and there's several employees I'm sure that you guys employ, or the other people that are listening they can apply this to. She was in a situation where there was a lot going on in her personal life, and not in things that were out of her control. And she is an incredible person. She loves to screen print, wants to be a career screen printer. And fits in with our culture. Everybody at the shop loves her, but we just reached this point where she was one of our press operators, and her schedule, the outside things that were going on in her life made it so that she was not the most reliable between the hours in which she's scheduled to work. And that made it really hard when we're trying to run as one cohesive unit. Yep. And so I reached this point with her where I was like, hey, there isn't anything else we can do. I'm not going to be able to get your pay rate is over the next 2 years, even if you're our best person, for you to keep doing what you're doing, you're close to the ceiling, because at some point we all have to recognize that, you're not going to make $80,000 a year as a screen printer. You're just not. And if you want to, that's super cool. You should go start a shop. And guess what? You won't be a screen printer. There are things that as you project about what your life is going to be in the future, you can't just sit on the rails and expect something great to happen. You have to advocate for yourself, and you have to advocate for the betterment of your personal life, and also be a good employee. And that's messy and it's complex. And so I realized it's going to be really merciful to let her go right now, but to lay her off and let her have unemployment benefits and say, hey, take this time where they're even kicking in bonus round funds. Go get your life on rails, maybe go back to school, maybe figure out how you can better yourself a year from now. This is so painful right now, but in a year, I promise you will look back at this moment and realize that this just set this paved the road for the next 10 years of your life. That's going to change it. And I, as the boss, friend, business owner, whatever, have to be the person that recognizes that and speak that truth into her life, because no one else would say that. Hey, I love you, and you always have a home here, and we can have matching tattoos, but you got to get out of the house for a little bit, and you can come back maybe, but this is inhibiting your life right now, even though it seems like this is the best thing in your life right now. It was hard. It sucked.
That's definitely like the thing is with that people don't realize as being a business owner is like, it is on you to do that. You know what I mean? You could have swallowed it and just sat back and been like, well, let's just see what happens. And if, shit goes really off the rails, like that has nothing on me, but you took the responsibility to be like, hey, this is probably better for her. I'm kind of in that position where I should tell her the right thing to do, or at least give her a hard 2 cents. So I feel like you did what you had to do and you did it right. At least we're honest to her. So
I think I like that point because I remember a situation. It wasn't a pandemic thing. It was before that, but in our design room, it was like a really tight knit group. There were 5 designers in there, and one of them I had been working with, and they were underperforming, and it got to a point where I had to let them go. And I knew though, and the conversation we had was like, look, we have to part ways, but you're going to find a better fit somewhere else and be happier somewhere else. And then the same thing goes for us. And so he left. And then when that happened, there were a couple of designers in there that were upset with that, that decision. And I remember that I went in there and had a conversation with them about it. And I said kind of that same stuff, that look, there were a few problems, and is it fair to say there were a few problems, and they agreed. And I said, wait, he's going to be happier at a certain point, and he'll grow at a from changing positions, and then the same thing is going to happen to us, because we're going to find somebody else that's going to come in and it's going to make your lives easier and this place better. And that's exactly what happened. And but at the time, I guess it's a super hard decision, isn't it? I mean, because it's emotional, and you don't want to, there's like some uncertainty with that team member or that employee, because for a minute they're not going to have that security of a job. But like you said, there's unemployment. And so it is a good thing that there's unemployment. So they're not just left out hanging completely, so I don't know. That's a great point you make.
Well, I think one thing a lesson I've learned the past probably couple of months. So we have our team, we're up to 46 or 47, and I'm trying to not hit 50 because I'm scared of FMLA. But really, I went through that like 2 weeks ago, and I'm not scared of it anymore. So we're going to go above 50 and it's going to be fine. Everything's okay. And really nothing's really going to change as far as we've found out. But
what was it, 50?
Yeah. So apparently when you employ over 50 people, the big bad wolf starts coming for you. And really what it really means is you have to offer health benefits to your employees, which we already do. And really all you have to do is just offer it. It doesn't mean you have to pay for it. We pay for half of the people's health insurance that want it. If you want it, you can pay, you can have it, but you got to pay for half, and Oklahoma Shirt Company will pay for the other half. So we offer it. Not everybody takes advantage of it. You have to work. We say like you have to work there for 6 months before you can opt in. Just it's kind of a pain in the rear to get everybody in and out. And then that's really it. Like, and then there's an FMLA benefit of basically that says the scariest version is if someone needs to step away from their job for an extended period of time, we will hold that job for them. And in my mind, it was like, oh, I have to actually pay them while they're not there. No. You just have to hold their spot. When their life comes back to normal, you'll have a spot on the team for them. And so that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
that would be
bad.
You can hire somebody. You can hire somebody to replace them for that position. However, if they come back, you have to give them an equal or better position at a compensation that's equal to or better than.
But what counts as a leave of absence? Like, what are they doing? Is it like
they get real sick, a family member gets really sick, pregnancy, maternity leave is classed under that, so then when I realized like, oh, these like kind things we're already doing, like it really, what we have to do is just start setting precedents and being consistent with the people that do it. And then look, we're actually being better than what they would offer. And I feel pretty good about it.
So you're saying you're already following a lot of the FMLA.
Yeah.
With being under 50, you're following it anyway. Yeah.
Accidentally. like not even intentionally, just doing what you feel like you should be doing. Andy, chances are you're probably following a lot of things.
Right.
If you're not doing it on purpose. I mean, we certainly weren't doing it on purpose, but we are now. So, but what I wanted to say was, as your team grows, this is a lesson I recently learned. I built my business. I hired all of my friends to help me build it because I realized like I have to ask a lot of you guys. I can't pay you very much, and we're going to go have some fun. Can you come along with me? And they come along with me, and then you build this business. And then your friends go take other jobs, or you realize you can't work well together. And so where we're at now is I just let go of, there's like 2 or 3 people that were remaining at the shop that were like my people, like very, very close. It made it hard to supervise them. It made it easy to work together, but it also sometimes made it really hard to work together. One of my favorites just left, and we're better. And now it's not because she didn't bring value, and it's not that she didn't bring her best, but what I've realized is our big journey this year is this push towards stability. Like that's our big word. It's like, what does stability look like? Let's stop growing. Let's stop adding stuff. Let's stop shaking the box. Let's focus on stability and identify the things in the organization that are working against stability. And it's not that she was working against stability. It's just that she had known the business for too long. She had been in the business in all these different iterations of what we were along the way. And it was really hard when someone new comes on and they recognize like, oh, this is how you guys do stuff. Cool. But then like there's a person who unintentionally kind of works against that, you know, the owner included. You have to make sure that you're not the worst at it, that you're holding on to these things of the past. And it brought a lot of stability as you exit people that help you start your business and bring in fresh people that can help you be more professional, more consistent, and more stable. And that was I want to hold on to those people so hard. And I realized like, it's actually lonely thinking about 2 or 3 years from now, some of those people that I'm closest with may not work at the place that I work. And coming to terms with that is hard. But the sooner you do it, I think it does, because you get to take their best traits and then apply that to a stranger. Oh, I want you to be this, and I want you to be this, and this is what you have to do. So that was a hard thing, but growing is good.
And what kind of bottlenecks have you guys come across with just having that many people? Because I feel like I'm at 8, going to be at 10. And I'm already at the point where I'm just starting to like delegate stuff to be like, all right, this is my thing. And then if you're in charge of this department, you're in charge of that. Really only come to me when there's like a big problem. Like, how do you do that when you get to be like 20, 30, 50 people? Are you managing a lot of stuff, or are you just like, come to me when there's big problems?
Yeah. Let me be clear. I don't get to take much credit. I'm very lucky and very fortunate to have incredible human beings surrounding me. So I do have a team of people that show up, legitimately God-given gifts of trying to do the best that they can. But finding the right kind of people and holding them responsible consistently, like it's just consistency. That's the hardest thing. And finding the right leaders. So the most significant thing, I used to supervise 7 people, and that was chaos. I used to have, I was doing business coaching, and I had someone telling me how to run my business, and they're like, you have to do weekly one-to-ones with all the people you supervise. And I was like, okay, I will do weekly one-to-ones with all the people I supervise. And I looked up and I found out that almost 20%, 25% of my entire week was just spent looking at these people, asking them how they feel, and do they like their job, and how's everything going? And is there anything you want me to do? What can I like? And it just was, they hated it probably more than I did. And it ended up not working out super well. And so then I found out that like, I can't supervise 7 people. How many people can I supervise? I'm not a good manager. I'm just good at like being the loudest, like, hey, this doesn't look right. Or why are you doing this? Or why is that piece of trash on the floor? Or why has this box been sitting here in this corner for 2 weeks? And all of you have walked past it 1,000 times, but no one said anything. Why do I have to be that guy? Right. Like I'm good at being that guy. And so I think it was, but for me, it was getting out of the way, is really trusting people and empowering them, saying, I know that you're a better art director than I am. I know you're a better operations person. I know you're a better sales manager, or whatever it is that person's doing. And finding those people and elevating them to be those people of influence, and then staying on top of them. But the most important thing was like middle management, like assistant manager type positions. That's what my ops manager did. It used to be like 6 people that were making everything happen. and it felt kind of like we were on the same team. But what really changed was when we promoted these 6 middle managers that we had never had before. And that was a game changer because that brought a like middle infrastructure stability. Like we were always strong here and we had like good support here, but like between the two was kind of strange. And so having these 6 middle managers that was like, okay, my ops person supervises. Now we have a pre-production manager and a warehouse manager and a darkroom manager and a screen print. So my production manager used to be like, I mean, you guys know, what's a production manager do? Everything but pay payroll, you know, like everything. You're the guy that's going to GST or the ink supply house to buy the however much like ink we need because the mixing system ran out, or you're the person that's coming with me to the trade show and like we're doing these things and I'm crippling my business because I'm robbing him for 3 days. You know, like the maintenance person, you know, hey, the toilet's broken, Jaron, can you go fix that? And like, he needs to be on the floor. So when we found like elevating a screen print manager and not even a production manager, like production manager, when you reach a certain size, you probably shouldn't have a production manager, you know, cause it's just as far as I'm concerned, it's a little too ambiguous. You know, we have an embroidery department manager, a screen print manager, digital, et cetera, like whatever department and streamlining that a lot better. So that was bottlenecks were like people not knowing what they're supposed to be doing. That's on me, not setting expectations, just hiring talent and saying, figure it out works, but they burn out.
You were making like these air charts. Do you actually have a chart with names on it that, you know, like there's this screen print manager and here are the people that answer to him and that kind of thing? Like you have charts.
Yeah, it's probably stupid to show you right now, but yeah, I have a hierarchy that we use it. That's the other thing. Pro tip. Oh, by the way, I have the greatest shop hacks that you guys have had up to this point. So when you're ready, I have like, it's like we might need 30 minutes to get through it. Just FYI.
That's fine.
That's fine.
But that would be, I found one of the things that I did accidentally was I took I didn't have the tool yet. I ended up, my buddy, you guys know Steven Farrig. He was using draw.io for a while he would say, hey, Printavo, like map out all of your status actions and where you're going and your workflows. And I did that and made a hierarchy. I started in Illustrator, but Illustrator was I had too much of the sandbox and I was trying to make it pretty. And instead I went to draw.io and I made a org chart. Oh my gosh, what a thing. I thought org charts were stupid because growing up, I was just a chess piece on that org chart. And then I made an org chart for our whole business and I printed it off and I put it right next to me on my desk. And I used that org chart to help influence just about every decision I made going forward. And I told my managers even like, hey, we're done. Like, oh, we need to hire another puller or a catcher or a pad printer or we need this piece of equipment. I said, we're done with this. During our staff meetings, I want you to tell me, what is your next hire? What are your next 3 hires? I want to know what hire you want to make in a month. I want to know what hire you want to make in 90 days. And I want to know what hire you want to make in 6 months. And we're going to talk about it before we need this. And we're going to identify the person and what they need. And so the hiring like bottleneck wasn't just me. I put it on my team to say, I don't know, like my email signature, I write that I'm the 3rd best screen printer. And really the truth is I'm probably like the 7th. But the point is like, I don't screen print anymore, guys. Like, don't look to me to solve the screen printing problems because that's not what I'm doing. I don't know how embroidery works. I mean, I can get in there and break a few needles and make a hat, but you're doing it every single day. So you need to be telling me where the bottleneck is. Like if we need 2 trimmers and an extra machine operator, then great. But don't wait for me because you're just going to get upset because I'm not in your world. Like there might be a week that goes by that I don't go in the embroidery department. And that's probably bad business practice, but also I trust the person that's running the embroidery department and my operations manager.
I'm the same way. And we just had to reset our embroidery department like 3 weeks ago. And it was my fault because with screen printing, it seems like we're always, continuing our education. We're always getting better. We're always trying this or that. And because that's my real love, and so with embroidery, I ignored it. And I finally realized it. My second. My second,
okay.
Not you, you're my first.
Right.
But my second love. Yeah. And so, embroidery wasn't that. And however, I do like it. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I don't know it, just like you said. And so there's probably a week maybe more than 1 week will go by before I'm even really in that department. And that's their world, just like you said. And so you're relying on them to tell you when, they need a new machine or they need a part or they need something, or something's going wrong. And so it's funny, like all of a sudden our hats, they weren't looking right. And so we had somebody come in as like a consultant, and they shadowed the embroidery manager and hung out for a while. And on day 2, realized that, wait a second, it's not a hooping problem. It's nothing like that. It's they found out that the hat frames, I think it's called, were missing some screws, and it just wasn't registering. It was like loose. And so as it was stitching, it wasn't tight. And so he like fixed it that night and then brought it back, and they sewed out a hat, and it's the best hat I've seen in probably like 6 months. Like we were blown away, like, oh my God, that's all it was a couple of screws. And so it's really, really hard, like you said, to have a handle on every single department, and so I'm guilty of that too. I need to have more meetings, I think, with those department heads and ask them those questions, like, I guess you were saying that it's their responsibility to come to you. You're not really going to them and not having like a scheduled weekly or biweekly meeting or anything. You're just saying to them, come to me when there's these kind of issues. Is that what you're saying?
No, I have 2 different teams. I have what I call my management team, and that's on my team on the hierarchy. And that's me, my assistant. And then I have our sales manager, our operations manager, our customer care manager, and then art director. And that makes up one team. And our meeting once a week is supposed to be like, it's selfish. We've gone through lots of iterations of what a meeting's supposed to look like, but I acknowledge like, hey, this meeting's for me. This is where y'all come here. Y'all tell me what's going on. You tell me what you need help with. You tell me what your problems are, personnel. And let me be clear. Like I go to work unless I'm traveling. Like I go to work every single day, and I go to my office. I'm not the first one there. I'm often the last one there. But I'm very plugged in. So it's not just like I'm trying to keep track of this thing because I've
seen your day. I know how it goes. You have your coffee, and then you walk into the screen room, and then you get wrapped up with some pallet tape. And at the end you dance. Isn't that your day? Usually
at the lake though.
Some disc golf in there.
Yeah. There's some disc golf in there. There's some disc golf in there.
No, sorry to interrupt. You were saying though.
No, I count on them. I recognize too that I'm a bit of a hothead, and I also don't have any problem with telling every single person I come across exactly how I feel or what I'm thinking. I guard that a little better as I'm getting better at this. But if something's not right, I'll say, like, I'll go into production, and my ops manager has told me I have to slow down a little bit, but I'll come into the production space and I'll have everybody stop all of the presses and walk over and come over, and I'll remind them first, hey, this is really expensive. And then I'll just be quiet for 10 seconds. All of y'all are still here. All of y'all are getting paid. We have to stop this, or we have to start this. And then we go on. And so I do have a pulse. And when I see something, I bring it up, but I try to not do that because that goes against stability. So I'm trying to say, like, how can I leverage my influence and what I see in a spirit of stability? And so I wait for them to bring problems to the team, but they're working on the business. And I ask my managers, like, I hope that you spend 25% of your time working in the business, and the other 75%, working on the business, my team, my managers, and then their managers underneath them. I hope it's more of like the split. I hope they're 75% in the business and 25% on the business. And then our primary producers, they're 100% on the business. So I hope that they bring problems to me, but really I want them to be there because I'm a verbal processor. And I want them to be a part of how I'm processing issues with maybe one of them, or tell them all of the things that I want at the same time. So I don't have to tell all of them the same thing. And I count on them to bring problems to that room and to come prepared to that meeting and to say, like, this is what we need to be working on this week. And then we follow up and then have a support team meeting. That's like business development. I got a marketer guy, that does marketing, and then my assistant, and then Jaron, who was once my production manager, and now his job title is linchpin. And his job is to show up. He comes to work and he doesn't have any assignments. He's there, and you are just there to be the generalist, to make everything better. If something breaks, you're the one. And that's a sweet spot for him because he is the ultimate support. he's that ultimate number 2. If you guys get into the Enneagram, like he really is the helper, and he doesn't do confrontation super well. And he will go to the ends of the earth for anybody. And he helps me be there for that business in ways that I can't, if that helps clarify.
I feel like that was a very in-depth description of how it should be laid out. So no, that was good.
I need a linchpin here. I think everybody needs a linchpin, you know, because on any given day, you have no idea what's going to happen, you know?
Yeah. And it's you. He's the best business partner I've ever had. Yeah. And he's not my business partner. That's the thing that's helpful. Like you have to find that, but that's been Jaron. We've played music together forever. And if I leave Oklahoma Shirt Company, Jaron will be one of the things that comes with me. But that's just kind of we have a soul debt to each other, but he's in it to win it for everything.
Do either of you guys do sales meetings too? Or is it mostly just production talk?
Yeah, we have a sales meeting that I have my, and here's the deal. We don't have our crap together. Like we're reinventing this as we go, as everyone is driving down the highway, 95 miles an hour, working on the engine and trying to pour gas in it at the same time.
Right, yeah.
We have a sales meeting, and that's led by my sales manager. I don't want to lead that meeting. I want to be there to support him and that was I'll say this, a big thing that changed for us 2 months ago was my sales manager has never been a sales manager, but I've wanted them to be a sales manager. And my salespeople, I've treated them like salespeople, but then the most derogatory thing that I would say to them is they were just order takers, right? They weren't doing sales. You were just responding to phone calls and walk-ins and emails. And so finally it clicked with me. It took me hiring another youth pastor. And then I recognized he will never be our customer. He won't be the sales manager I want him to be. So what is he supposed to be? Oh, he's supposed to be our customer care manager. And now we have customer support. And so then I put Sang in charge of all external communications is your department's responsibility. So I have one salesperson, and I have a sales manager, and he is that one salesperson, and he's building a whole new department. And then I have a customer care team that's made up of Sang and then 5 other awesome humans who answer the phones and respond to quotes and all of the back and forth that it takes. I don't even put in quotes anymore because I mess it up. They say, Justin, even for myself, you want a Wildboy shirt? Cool. Tell me what you want, and then we'll put it in, and then we'll get it to the art department. And then they treat me like a customer, and it's better for everybody. And it's not even me being extra. Like I don't want to build this invoice. No, when I build invoices, it slows down the art department. It slows down the sales team. Production misses something. Fulfillment misses something. The warehouse is like, what is this garment that just showed up? It says Justin ASAP. You know, that kind of bullshit. That's we call it hashtag Justin Hell. Whenever I try to make stuff, it's just so stability, adding to breathe in the spirit of stability. So I brought Sang and I said, you're going to be our customer care manager. And you just make all of our customers feel really, really supported and taken care of. And then let's have a sales manager that's out beating the streets trying to, be the used car salesman.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how we've always been though, too, is I feel like in the very beginning, it was that hit the pavement. Me and Chris were all right, let's try to get sales. Let's talk to our connections with bands and anything we can to get business in. And then after 2 years, it gets to the point where you just have more than enough emails to do every day and orders to fulfill and everything else. And then we did that for, 12 years. And now it's all right, well, we can keep doing that. We can keep going that route, or every day we're still getting plenty of orders in just every day on its own, but we're not having people out there, finding new stuff all the time. So, and now that we did this renovation to have the new office, it's all right, well, we had a meeting the other day and it's should we hire more people to just contact people or get new customers, or do we want that, or what do we do? So, we're kind of fighting that right now, just figuring out what we want to do. If we want to be that guy where, we have people making calls and everything, trying to get new business in. So.
Yeah, Justin, I
just right out of the
saw
bottle.
that earlier, by the way. Cheers. I have a little cherry wheat that I'm giving a shot.
Cherry wheat.
But I love that customer care manager title.
Me too.
I do the same thing with, like you said, how order taker is just an insult basically, because they do so much more than that. So I really like that name. And also I think that dryer catcher is an insult. And I hear people say it all the time, quality control all day, because they really are. You know, they're the last person to see that shirt before it's boxed and before the customer sees it. And so they need to control the quality right there at the end of the dryer. Super important spot. And they're compensated very well and they're treated very well. And I treat them with respect all the time because that's a tough job. Like I step in for quality control sometimes and I'm terrible. You know, the shirts are coming down fast. And I usually say, they laugh when I'm there because I need help, you know. And but I really I think titles are important, you know, throughout your shop, and it's good to spend time on thinking about what those people really do all day, and they don't just catch a dryer.
Well, step back. We got to do we need the where did you come from? How did you get here story?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it doesn't quick. I worked in the church. I played music. I wanted to be a doctor. I had to quit my job because studying science to go to med school is really hard. And I was not a good student to begin with. I got a communications degree from a university here in Oklahoma. And then I went back to that university to get the prerequisites for school. When I quit my job at the church, I needed to start, I needed to still provide some revenue for my wife and child. And at the time I was doing design, I was also doing a little graphic design and would freelance design for people. And so my buddy said, hey, we have a church camp coming up this summer. Can you do the logo for it? I said, that. What? And he said, who should I have print the shirts? And I said, I'll do it. It can't be that hard. I said, can I get all your money up front? He goes, you bet. How much is it going to cost? And I said, I don't know, 10, 12 bucks a shirt, probably. That's what I've always paid. So I got like 3,800 bucks. And I said, all right, we got to figure this out. And so I went and bought, what did I buy? I bought from like screen printing supplies, not the good one, not Ryan, not screen printing, like the other one. There's like brown, was white and brown. This was in 2013. So this was like whatever the not so great one was. And so I got this silver looking, it's not a silver press, but it was silver and it was a single station. And I got this dryer and I was living at the church that I was working at that I was about to quit. And it all shipped there and I freaked out and I kind of like ran it to the back and thought I was going to like blow my cover and no one saw it. I set up my print shop in this apartment at the church that I was squatting in. And then I started having shirts shipped there, which raised lots of questions. And eventually it all kind of happened at the same time. I was like, this is now I'm trying to print too. And so I moved to actually I had a partner at the time. And he took all of our equipment to his garage. And so I decided like, okay, I can study and I can do sales and design and I can do all this from my computer and ordering and all of the things. And then he can do production in his garage and that will be how we split. And, you know, at the time he was my best friend and we had talked about all of these different ways about how we were going to be thousandaires. You know, we loved our lives and we loved like the trajectory we were on, but we just wanted some extra money. So could we get some rent houses? Could we start another service-based business? We thought we figured out a way to like cheat at blackjack and we were going to make millions of dollars at the casino. Turns out it was already a gambling method that we had discovered and it was pretty cool. We can get into that later if you want. That'll be the OnlyFans content. You pay extra and you can get you can get juicy blackjack tips.
You can made a movie about that.
Yeah, right. Yes. So we just printed and then we started the shirt of the month thing and it all kind of just happened really, really fast. And then so you started off with a shirt of the month thing. Yeah, dude. That was, well, no, we learned how to screen print first, but like 10 jobs, not like we had been around for a long time. I just realized, Oklahoma at the time, everyone was really proud of Oklahoma and they wanted Oklahoma shirts, and all of the boutiques that had shirts that said anything cool about Oklahoma were selling shirts. They were selling American Apparel tri-blends for like $30 or $35 a piece. And I just said, this is silly. I can do a we can design this, we can manufacture it, and we can distribute it. And so let's figure this out. And I rigged it. There wasn't a subscription anything when I wanted to do it. I had to go to PayPal, and then I found, I used like a WordPress site, and then I used Google Sheets to manage our subscriptions. And it was a friggin' nightmare, but people loved it. And that was how I managed like a monthly subscription thing for the first 6 months. And we would add about 100 to 300 subscriptions per month for the first 6 months. And it was challenging until I hired a gal. And she was with me for a long time. She was technically our second hire, because Jaron was our first hire. And Amy ran the shirt of the month side. And then we built infrastructure, and then we found like a subscription management platform that we borrowed. And it was just kind of figured out, you have all this up. Yep.
Can you give us an abbreviated description of the shirt of the month, like how it works? And
Sure.
Was it like an idea that you came up with, or did you see it being done somewhere?
Sure.
I mean, how did you know? So how does it work exactly, the shirt of the month club?
Yeah. So you sign up, it charges. And I did all of this out of because I didn't know any other way of doing it. So you would go to the website, you'd sign up, you'd put in your credit card, and it would charge it, because I needed to validate that this was a real credit card. And it would charge you our first model was $10. The first price was $10 plus shipping and handling. And it ended up being $13.04. And our first shirts were I think they were Bella Canvas was our first shirt, 3001C. Maybe it was an Anvil 980. It was one of those two. Those were either one or two was what we used. And then, so you would go to the website, you'd sign up, it would charge your card. We would mail you the intro shirt, which was just a black shirt that had Oklahoma printed on it, the state, and it said doing fine. And then on or around the first of the next month, you would receive the next month's shirt. We would ship people their shirts before their card was charged, because I was trying to build trust. Nobody knew what a subscription based, when we would describe it to people, we would say, yeah, it's kind of like a magazine subscription. You give us your credit card, and as long as your credit card works, or until you tell us to stop, we're going to send you a new t-shirt each month. Do I get to pick? No. You have to trust us. And that's the fun thing. It'll be your favorite mail you get every month. And so we started doing it, and that was it. There was no contract. We would, and what was funny is it didn't matter if we had 100 subscriptions or our biggest, we almost hit 15,000 subscriptions. But always, no matter how much it scaled, 10% of all of the transactions would fail. It didn't matter if they were 14,500 or 1,400 or 14.
When you say fail, you mean, because when you said you shipped the shirt before you hit their card, I was like, that's probably the smartest thing I've ever heard and the dumbest, because because you're I hear you, you want to build trust, and that's huge, because you're going to build a dedicated, devoted, group of customers. But at the same time, is that you're telling me that 10% failed? You mean 10% disputed the charge or something, or said, I don't want to, what do you mean by fail?
Didn't have money in their account. Card expired, got rid of that card. It was sad. There are people that their cards would decline because they didn't have enough money to cover $13.04. And I would just be like, why are you subscribed? I know why you're subscribed, because you don't have any other discipline in your life. And so you just said yes. It's sad. But there are people that do that. And
so 10%, you're telling me that you got up to 15,000.
Yeah, run the numbers.
Shirts. That means 1,500 shirts.
Times.
Well, yeah. $3 for a Bella Canvas and then printing, right?
But we would then spend the next 30 days. Well, the robots would spend the next 30 days trying to get them back. So it would fail. They would have their shirt, and then we would have hey, we're a little shop in Oklahoma. We mailed you your shirt. Your card didn't work. Can we handle this? We hope you enjoy your shirt that you have. And most of the time people would
I see.
Yeah, that's great. Or they would say, I tried to cancel and you went ahead and send it. And then that's what we decided, customer service early on, loss leader, everything. Let's not even worry about, I don't want that shirt back. if we sent someone a medium and they were supposed to get an extra large, we would send them an extra large and say, give the medium away. Like, don't even try to return, because it was just sour for $3 and every opportunity. So what we found was with Facebook, we got pretty like popular with our people that cared about Oklahoma. And so we have almost 100,000 like followers on Facebook. And that was the community where we realized I realized like shirt of the month is not a sustainable business model. You can do well. And there's probably lots of we will try. Subscription products are part of who we are, and we will continue to try to do subscription products. But what's better, what is sustainable is custom screen printing. Like, I believe that contract printing probably is sustainable if you're tooled the right way, but like business to customer, custom screen printing, church of schools, business, nonprofits in your city, state area, I think is a really sustainable practice and something I kind of want to jump on for the rest of my life. And so the onus is on me to then convert all of those people who love us, let them know, hey, by the way, we're not just the shirt of the month people. We also do custom screen printing. So I have this like philosophy that one or two people or a person, every single person, I believe, not every single person, but within what we're all talking about, every single person has the opportunity either once or twice a year to either directly buy t-shirts or influence somebody to buy t-shirts. You know, like, oh, I need to get shirts for my women's Bible study. Oh, who should I use? Well, that person can influence Laura, or Laura now knows that she has had an experience with us. And so I just want to make sure that, at least in Oklahoma for the time being, that we're in the top 3 of those people's lists, you know, that when they think of a custom screen printer, we better think of, I hope that they would think of Oklahoma Shirt Company. So how can we position ourselves to be on the tip of everybody's tongues in a good or a bad way? And like, at least if they're talking about us, then they're talking about us. Hi, baby. Look at my wife coming in from the pool. What you doing, girl? With that donut.
Right.
With the donut on.
With the donut.
Perfect. So it sounds like that, not that the Shirt of the Month Club is a loss leader, but it's your number one marketing tool, you know, because you're sending out, you have this database of all these people who I guess you can even email and say, hey guys, we're a custom screen printer.
That we do email. We send a newsletter every single month to everybody who is currently a subscriber or has been a subscriber, and tell them like, hey, here's the new shirt, because there's also a lot of FOMO. Here's what's crazy. At the largest, there was almost 15,000, but in totality, there's been almost 50,000 people that have subscribed either in or out. And so we remarket to them constantly until they tell us to stop. So we tell them about like nice things we're doing in the community or philanthropic efforts we're doing, or here's this like special shirt we're offering, or hit us up for if you need hand sanitizer or masks. So yeah, we try to fish in that pond as much as we can.
So are you trying to grow that still as much as possible, or are you trying to kind of wean out of that into more of the custom all the time then?
You know, it's the problem is I don't have a person who can grow that other than me. And it's just like, what are you gonna, if I had someone that like was really passionate about it and wanted to grow it and saw opportunity, then I would say yes. I would hire somebody that wanted to be our subscriptions manager, but that job is, when you picture that job, it's kind of analogous with the person who wants to be your social media manager. You know, I don't want to I don't want someone who just gets paid well to have a desk job. No, I want an entrepreneur who sees opportunity and wants to jump on market trends. That's the person that I'm looking for. And that would be any lifestyle niche subscription box. There's still opportunity out there. It's not your state, you know, it's not it, but it is for like for me, like I thought, oh, maybe there's a disc golf shirt of the month. Turns out there is 2 of them, you know? And so like either do something someone's already doing and do it better, or find a new opportunity to bring something to people.
Dylan, Sasquatch shirt of the month.
Dude, I've already thought about it. The funny thing is like, I've never really thought about that too much. And then I mean, I've heard to other people, and then we talked to Tyler from TC, and he was saying that he does some stuff in his state and he's trying to do other states, whatever. So we've had phone call conversations about it. And he's like, yeah, man. And we were talking about other stuff too, but he's like, yeah, man, you should do something in New York because nobody does anything in New York. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. He's like, if you don't, I'm gonna. And I'm
there
like,
it is.
and I'm like, I don't know. But I don't know. We'll see. That's the thing. I feel the same way with Justin though, is it's kind of like, I feel like we could do it because we have the means, like we do fulfillment, we do screen printing. Like I could make the shit, like I have that, but I don't know if I have the drive or the time to put all my energy into this full shirt of the month thing. Like I could probably make some cool shit and just put it out there. And then like you were saying, like I could put out cool stuff. And if some people gravitate toward it and I have some people who want to subscribe, or even if it's just like a clothing, I don't want to say clothing line, but something that's just like about upstate New York or the Adirondacks or Sasquatch or whatever, like just see where it goes. I feel like that's what I would do. And I wouldn't do the, like, let's go balls deep on like, you know, ads and try to get it as big as humanly possible. I feel like I just want to make cool shit. And if people want to buy it, cool.
Well, and therein lies the problem is every one of you, especially today, and certainly the people listening, like everyone can create a shirt of the month product. Like you can, like it's easy. It's not hard. The accessibility is it's like screen printing. It's why there's a million screen printers. And they have garage shops because it costs $3,500 to get into the game. But to make something of the game or to survive in the game or to build a life around the game, you have to go all in, or as Reverend Gilligan says, balls deep.
Balls deep,
like
dude.
So the problem is look, we tried to start. So who in this entire nation is the most proud of themselves, hypothetically speaking? By state, if you had to pick one state, which state is the most proud of themselves?
Texas.
Okay. Bill?
New York's pretty strong in that.
Texas. Texas. All Texas wants to talk about is how great Texas is. Yeah. So I said, TexasShirtOfTheMonth.com. Let's go. Yippee-ki-yay. I've got this figured out. I build a whole platform. We build the whole site. I say Texas Shirt of the Month. It looks just like Oklahoma. Hey, this is easy. Launch it. The formula, yeah.
And
this is easy.
You're going to repeat the formula.
Yes. And if Texas can do it, let's roll to Arizona, then California, then New York, then Missouri, then Illinois. Like,
stay out of Missouri.
Stay out of Missouri. We did Missouri. We had a Missouri Shirt of the Month. No
kidding. Really?
There's a Facebook page. You can go to Missouri because my wife's from St. Louis. So I thought like, she lived in Troy. Well, we did Missouri. We had friends that were in Missouri, and then we were going to go into Illinois next if it worked. And I teed up Texas. We still have Texas Shirt of the Month, by the way. Like the orders went out last week. Orders go out this week. We set it up. I put like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of gas behind this campaign, thinking I'm going to get 10,000 subscriptions in the first month. Nothing. So I think Texas is big as Texas got, and I threw so much money at Texas. I threw more money at Texas than I ever threw at Oklahoma. And I think we peaked at 4.
Why do you think it didn't catch in Texas? Because you're not from Texas, and they're so like, if you're not from here, you're not one of us?
Well, I even got a P.O. box in Texas. Bro, all correspond. I tried to do everything I could to make sure this is coming from Texas. The only thing I can think of is I spent a good almost decade in Oklahoma, building like my name. Like I had a band, like you guys had a band. Like I was in churches, and I was even with school. Like I had kind of 4 or 5 rich, like groups.
You had boots on the ground in Oklahoma.
You already had a following, I guess,
The reason I posted the Oklahoma Shirt of the Month on my Facebook page in December 26th of 2012, and launched it in January 1st and got around 100 or 150 subscriptions in our first month with no money. And it's because my mom and her friends and my girlfriend and her family and everyone was like, oh, this is beautiful. Let's help birth this. Whereas in Texas, it was just like, oh, cool. Like here's another Texas shirt or something. So Texas, I think we have like 150 subscriptions right now. It's barely worth doing. I can tell any of y'all that if you can't grow a subscription thing, like you have to commit, you have to support it, and you have to be willing to go all in. And if you need to commit for at least 6 months to a year, because if and when you cancel, all of those people lose trust in your company. Like that's the hard thing. Like everyone's like, oh, I could start a shirt of the month thing. And you start a shirt of the month thing. And then in 3 months you have 50 subscriptions and you realize, oh, this is a big pain in the ass. And then you email all of those people and you cancel their subscription and say, oh, this didn't turn out into what we thought it would be. All of those people instantly lose all of that respect or trust that they've built up with your company. And so it has to be, and every time that they get a new shirt, or if you mess something up or miss something, that's what was kind of mind blowing for us was when I print 300 shirts for a church retreat, I'm working with their youth pastor, right? That person back and forth. And if we nail it, I nail it in that youth pastor's eyes. All of those students and volunteers don't give a crap about Oklahoma Shirt Company. However, with a shirt of the month product, every single person is getting a unique package that has their name on it, and they open that package and it has your name on it, and they look at that shirt and they instantly make a decision each month about what they think about Oklahoma Shirt Company and how we took care of them. It's very different than custom screen printing, and it feels the same, but it's so different.
You just filled me with confidence.
What I think's good, Dylan, is you should do like a Sasquatch box that is consistent, and you put like 12 promotional products in there and like a printed, like a bandana with napkins on it and like a glass and a koozie, and then one t-shirt that you just like, you add, medium box, you put the medium in there and then ship that box. And the box is consistent always. And it's just a one-shot thing that someone wants to get their Sasquatch box and they can get their Sasquatch box.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, I guess. I'm gonna focus on the company at the moment.
Dylan, you got this. You got this.
Thanks,
you can
bud.
do it.
Hey, we'll see.
What else you want to talk about?
Well, he put a pin in workers' comp. As exciting as that is.
He did. Yeah. It's a hot topic.
So workers' comp, like kind of in the same category as this changed for me about a week. I called my ops manager like literally 3 days ago and told her that my mind changed about workers' comp. It's something that I've paid. It's something that in our first years of business, we didn't have. On my fourth year of business, I got workers' comp. I paid the least amount possible for it. My fifth year of business, they did an audit and realized that I had been grossly underpaying. And so then in my sixth year of business, I had to actually pay for that. Yep. And then in our seventh year of business, we like normalized, like, okay. And I'm telling you, I was paying like $7,000 a month to make up the discrepancy between, yes.
Yep, I've done
and
that.
I said, are you freaking kidding me? And then all of a sudden like, oh yeah, your new rate is $1,250 a month. And I said, well, then why am I paying $7,000 right now? Well, because it was misclassed early on. I said, we didn't have a claim. Can we just call this good? Like, what do you need this
and they
for?
want it now.
That's right.
I've been there.
So workers' comp, make sure you do it. You have to do it. Make sure you do it right. And
is it mandatory in Oklahoma?
It has to be.
Yeah, ours is. I have
in
a
New York,
similar story.
You have to like right away.
The first year didn't have it. I don't know, maybe the second. I don't know exactly when I did purchase a policy, but I did. And then it was exactly like you. I was audited, and because I thought, hey, like you said, I'll pay the least amount possible. Then I was audited. I had to pay more. But now, payroll processing. So ADP, I buy my policy through ADP, which then reduces my ADP payroll processing fees because I buy the policy through them. And also it's a every 2 week pay. In other words, you don't pay annually, you don't pay quarterly or whatever. You pay every 2 weeks on the exact amount of payroll that you have. And so at the end of the year, there is no audit. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that's where we're at now we moved to Gusto, and Gusto got us like whipped into shape.
Mm.
Yeah. So like in the beginning, I didn't have it. Like I just didn't know. I wanted to fucking screen print. I didn't know anything about all this other shit you have to have.
Right.
So when I first started, I've never been like the printer. I've never been like, oh, I printed for this long and then I, hired people, whatever. I was always the sales guy, computer guy. That's what I've done. And then I hired people to print and then I would teach them and learn and everything else. But when I first started hiring people, I didn't have workers' comp. I didn't know I fucking needed it. And then whatever it was, 6 months or whatever down the line, I get a letter from New York State saying, here's your $50,000 fine for not having workers' comp.
No fucking.
And I was like, I probably have $500. Like, I do not have anywhere near this. I was like, I called the number on the thing and I'm just like, I didn't know, like, you try to play as dumb as possible. And I was dumb. Like, I didn't fucking know. And I was like, this is obviously my first offense. Like, I will get it now. I will start paying it, whatever. And they were like, all right, well, as long as you pay us $1,000, we'll call it even. And I was like, it's done.
Is the mafia run in New York?
Yeah,
the mafia, they're sweating you.
In all honesty,
like a one-time fee, just $1,000, not a month.
Yeah, they were like, pay us $1,000 and we'll sweep it under the rug.
I hope you said yes.
I did. I was like, sir. Yes.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Even then, when we very, very first started, $1,000 was like, dude, I don't have a fucking $1,000 to give you. Like, I need $1,000 to, get through the week or whatever. And it was just like,
for real.
But it was funny when I got that. I don't think I ever sweat so hard. I probably turned white as a ghost when I saw this, thing from New York State saying pay us $50,000 or shut down. But
I just Googled it real quick, and I don't know what it is for Oklahoma or New York, but it's probably similar. In the state of Missouri, you are required to carry workers' compensation insurance if you have 5 or more employees. Unless you are in the construction industry, then you must carry it if you have 1 or more.
I'm pretty sure in New York, as soon as you have like your first employee, you have to pay for it.
I would believe that. I mean, I'm sure it's the same. So in the spirit of, changing our minds, I have to pay this. It's bullshit. I don't want to pay. Like, we've never had a workers' comp claim. Like, I do all these things. 2 weeks ago, one of my people got hurt. And one of my people got hurt, and it became really real. Now, what happened? Great question. They were in the production space and they hadn't been properly trained. Andy, I listened to one of you guys' episodes, and you talked about like what you do with all of your new hires. You show them like, hit the e-stop button and you make them do it. And after I listened to that episode, I went in and talked to my team and I said, guys, like, what he said is right. Like, hey, let's make it like, we can't hit the e-stop. This is a battle I'm having in my production shop right now. Like, we don't hit the e-stop button. Listen, everybody, we've got 6 automatics, and those e-stop buttons are probably hit 10 to 15 times a day on each machine. And our manufacturer buddies we're pretty close with the people who make our machines. And they've told us like, this is the worst thing you can do. But here's the deal. Like, they do it all day, every day, and nothing bad has happened yet. So why should we stop, other than we're told we're not supposed to do it? And we didn't know how no one got chopped in half, but she's alive. Everything's fine. Like, let me say, like, everything is okay. But she, I was being a little, I understand this feeling. I was peacocking around one time at a trade show, and I was, showing off, and I got a sweet ass hip check from a Sabre, and a hip check is not a joke. And thankfully it was in the right direction. A hip check in the wrong direction, is no bueno. So she got it. She was helping, she's one of our pre-production helpers, and she was bringing parts to be fed to the machine, and she got hip checked, and it knocked her down, and her wrist, like, she went up to catch herself, and then her wrist went to the platen, and then it went up in the machine and tabled up, and then it crushed her hand.
Oh no.
And so my response as a business owner is, okay, first of all, take her to the hospital. I was out of town, but I said, take her to the hospital and then tell me how much the bill is, right? What your dad would say if you rear end somebody with your, car insurance, like, do not file a claim. And my ops manager, my assistant, everyone was on the same page. Like, we are not filing claim. Tell that person when they go to the hospital, if they whatever expenses, just pass it on to me. I'm going to take care of it. And then we filled out an incident report. We did all of the right things. Also, by the way, pro tip, go to Google and download an incident report. And if anybody in your shop ever gets hurt, fill out the incident report. I haven't been burned. I haven't had a lawsuit. Nothing's happened, but make sure that when something does happen, it's important in that moment to stop, especially if two people are on their way to the emergency room. You need to stop, or you need to tell some person, because chances are you're probably taking that person to the emergency room. You need to say, hey, here's this PDF. I need you to fill out this whole thing, and you tell the story and let everyone else tell the story and just have it. Because if you need it, you'll have it. And if you need it and it's 3 weeks go by, you're going to just be pulling crap out of the air. So I asked my operations manager to fill it out and I would say, I would challenge you all shop owners, don't fill it out yourself. Have somebody else fill it out. Someone else that is neutral, because you'll always be looking out to how you're going to save money.
Yeah,
and you want to take care of someone else, but also there's like am I ruined? Like, just do the right thing and let somebody else do it. And then look at it and then test and challenge if something doesn't seem right. But I promise it will be better to let somebody else do that. So she goes to the hospital and she comes back, everything's fine. And she actually comes back to work the next day and comes and talks to me because she's afraid that she's going to lose her job.
I mean, comes back and actually wants to work like at 8 a.m. or whatever.
Yes.
Wow.
And I said, honey, like, you are so good. You are the last thing you're going to do is lose your job. I appreciate how concerned you are. We're going to take care of all of this. So she's fine. She comes back to work. Like, her wrist is gnarly. The doctor releases her, it's not broken. Everything, we got x-ray, like, did all of the right things. And she's actually able to work, and it's not even like she has an issue. So then, like, a month later, I get a letter that says workers' comp claim. And I said, what the hell is this? And it turns out that I think when somebody goes to the hospital and they're, what happened? Well, I was at work.
Right.
Instantly triggered.
And I'm thankful. Like, I'm not even complaining. So I get this letter. And so then I reach out to my workers' comp person and I said, what is this? I don't want to file a workers' comp claim. I want to actually, I just want to pay for it and let this thing disappear. And here's what's cool. I went to church with this guy. And so he told me, he said, Justin, this is why you pay for workers' comp insurance. It was $1,000. It's not a lot of money. It was just the emergency room bill and like the doctor. And I said, I want to pay this $1,000. He said, this is why you pay for workers' comp insurance. Let us pay for it. And I said, okay. He said, because, and the key is this, if there's ever anything down the road that comes back, it's a benefit. And so then I instantly took, I was processing this with my ops manager. I was thinking about Jaron. I said, let's use Jaron. Jaron gets hip checked and he gets caught in an automatic press and gets chopped in half, and it doesn't kill him. And he wants to come back to work, and maybe he's down for a minute, but the dude needs like a chiropractor or physical therapy for the rest of his life. Workers' comp insurance will pay for that. But if I don't do workers' comp insurance from the beginning, and then he comes back, if she develops carpal tunnel, or if she needs a brace, or if I have real talk, if I've fucked up another human's life because of asking them to make a t-shirt and I don't have the support or the benefit to support them for the rest of their life, then I'm running my business wrong. So it really changed my perspective of workers' comp is let's look at this like a benefit. So if someone really does get hurt, we have the infrastructure to support them now, and they can live their life, or they can continue working with us. Or if they leave this place, they will be cared for as they go on. So workers' comp insurance is a benefit.
I love it. I love it. It's a good one. That can be a shop. I think that qualifies, right? Shop hack. Oh, for sure. And I know you've got you've got the best, which is a lot to live up to, but you have the best shop hacks coming. But I have two things to that. One, workers' comp provides, you said you can go and download a PDF of that incident report, but Workman's, the policy you have and the company you have it with, whoever that is, I always get it in the mail, like this packet that I kind of throw up behind me and say, fuck, I don't have time for this shit. Well, in that packet, I get around to opening it every once in a while. And in that packet, it has those incident reports. And also there's like a phone number and all this kind of stuff that you can give to a card you can give to them. And there might even be a law that needs to be hanging in the break room or something like that.
Yes. May as well be.
Let's just say yeah.
Let's just say yes. I
Let's
agree.
be careful.
I get like, don't you get those poster, like the company
Yes.
that'll say, hey, I'll give you for
Yeah, mine's from like
$1,000.
2014.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you're required to post the minimum wage and all that stuff. And if it's not posted, you could be fined like 50,000, like Dylan said. But my second thing is safety bars. Do you have them at your press? Not safety cords like the yellow pole cords.
I'm guessing
But
by the
like-
look on his face, the answer is 100%.
Yes,
You know
every
what I'm talking
single
about,
press
right?
that we have safety bars on every single one of them. They're bright
Exactly.
yellow,
I
and
thought
they
you
are in
would.
front
I
of
mean-
all 6 of our automatics. We have training and all the things that go along
Beautiful.
with them. Thank you, Workhorse Products.
Beautiful.
Love it. All right.
No,
Everybody
because
who's
they
listening.
suck. They're in the way.
And they
They're in
get
the way,
long
like they
sleeves
slow you
catch
down.
Well,
on
it
them.
depends.
Yes.
Depends on where you install them. I disagree. Depends on who installs
You
them.
would.
Because you have there are press installers that come here that they're like, hey, I'm going to put these here. I'm like, no, don't put them there because my leg's going to be bruised. Like, or the press operator's leg's going to be bruised because they're going to hit it every time they load a shirt. There's a right spot to have it at. And
Hey,
I'm
I
not
would
saying
love
that
for
it
you
would have
to-
saved like that, and maybe
Yes.
that still would have happened, sure, but maybe not. I don't know. So just curious.
What's
We
so
should have
Justin, you said you got hip checked at a show. Have you been hip checked at the shop?
No, because I have soft hands. I don't print very often. I'm kidding.
I was
I haven't at the shop.
Yeah, a little while ago. I've been hip checked a couple times out there, and it's just again me being ignorant, not out there enough. But like one of the days I was out there and I had like a party shirt on, kind of like the one you have on, and I'm standing at the press and they're doing long sleeves, and they asked me to come out and like pull sleeves off or whatever and put them on the dryer, and I'm standing there and I'm just talking to whoever was running the press at the time or whatever, and the sleeve pallet came around and it caught like the button on my gut. And it ripped every button off my shirt, like I was in like an action movie, and it just blew my shirt off. And it was hilarious because it was like, and it took, just ripped my shirt wide open. And then he just looks at me like, what the hell just happened? Like I just was getting sexy for him. That's all it was.
Yeah, it's not okay how powerful those machines are, yet they give them to numbskulls like each of us. For real. Like
Yeah.
it is. And here's the real talk. I told, I guess I was going to get there. I asked Tyler. Tyler's my buddy. He's the president of Workhorse Products.
Yep.
And I said, I don't know how these machines are built, but it seems as if can't you put some sort of fail safe, even if it costs me $2,500 every time I do it, that like if the machine senses more than 500 pounds of resistance, like let's make it kind of high, but like not enough, like 400 pounds or 200 pounds, like to sense that I'm caught in a machine or something.
It disengages.
Or it shears. Like let's shear a bolt, or let's put in something that causes this machine to fail and it locks it up and I have to call a tech, but I've just saved somebody's life. Like it seems like
Right.
there shouldn't be that. Let's not build and charge me $3,000 for it. It's okay. Machine prices go up $3,000 because you're not going to kill somebody. That would be tight.
It makes sense. Andy, does your Cobra have the lasers on it?
Lasers, you mean, instead of
Damn.
The gauntlet has lasers on it on the sides. So if you even like load a shirt wrong and like get your elbow in the way, the machine stops. Like it won't print.
I can
Because
see
it senses that you were like fell into the machine.
I can see us like working around that, like cheating it so that when you break the thing, it doesn't actually stop because that slows you down. Okay.
It doesn't happen all the time. I'm just saying, like, if you're an ogre and you like overstep into the press or you go too far, it just won't print. Like it just won't index.
Well, now that we've covered workman's comp, I think we should move on to something
Just
even
glazed right over.
more exciting as plantar fasciitis. I know Dylan likes to talk about podiatry. And
I know I'm going to say this because I know Andy's going to have Chad cut it out, but he has a foot fetish. Justin, let's talk about Andy's foot fetish for a little while.
Yeah, let's
show
talk
us your
about it.
feet
Let's
so
talk
that
about
he can think about it later. Right.
OnlyFans content.
Right. I'm trying to get.
Hey, you want to get real? You want to get real about foot stuff? You want to get real?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes. Let's do it.
This is gonna be gross. You ready?
All right. Yes.
Oh, I'm scared.
I
Love feet.
have a corn on the bottom of my foot, and I'm too embarrassed to ask anybody about it or how to fix it. Because I'm also afraid that someone's going to take an ice cream scoop and just like pop it out, and I'm going to have to deal with it.
If this platform is for anything, it's for us to talk about feet.
Exactly, Dylan. This is, I mean, it's half the reason why we started this.
Right. You just wanted to get it off your chest. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, that's gnarly.
It's not gnarly. Let me see your feet, Dylan.
You need to get that looked at. I have two dead big toenails, so I can't show off my feet either.
That's gross.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to train myself how to walk different now, because apparently I've been doing it wrong my whole life.
Backwards.
You know, because I pronate out, so like I roll my foot out a little bit.
We're really going to talk about feet, aren't we?
Real quick, because I learned something. So anybody that's suffering from plantar fasciitis knows, like, it's real. And so I roll my foot out, which is good when your foot lands, because your heel is rotated out and your toes spread, and it's supposed to do that so you can handle any kind of surfaces. But when you take off, you're supposed to roll the opposite way, so that then it like springboards out, because your plantar is taking. If it doesn't, your plantar fascia takes all of that abuse, and it's not meant for that. And so that's what happens is my plantar swells, and so I'm learning how to walk, and it's my shoes' fault really, because they were built funny, and so I threw away my shoes, got different shoes, and it feels better. More. So Scott, I know Scott has a problem with that too, and I need to actually message him, because I've discovered this only recently. But workman's comp, plantar fasciitis. Now we're going to talk about taxes.
Nope.
This portion of Church Show is brought to you by Dr. Scholes. Thank you, Dr. Scholes. When your feet need it the most.
We're going to break this up a little bit. What are some of the most dangerous things you did as a kid?
Good one, Dylan.
I had that one saved for you, Justin, because you're a wild boy, and I want to know.
Wildboyz.
I want to know,
dude.
I want some. We all have to have some good. Oh yeah.
So how do we become a member of this gang? And once we do, is the initiation?
Do we get like wild boy,
like a butt
right
tattoo?
Here?
It can only be in person, and it's better than getting jumped in. And you have to come to Oklahoma, and you have to be at the lake. You guys have the day that y'all do a like shirt show podcast at Eufaula, then you're Wildboyz. So if y'all can figure that out, I'll figure out how to host you.
I think that's what we should do next week. You said you need to get out of town, right?
Yeah, I do. I could use a little bit of time away for sure.
And plus you make some baller barbecue by the looks of it. So
thank you. I would love to make y'all some barbecue.
On that topic, not just barbecue, but deer jerky, which I was promised some, and I'm still waiting. I don't know. Maybe it came and JoJo ate it all. Could have been.
Probably.
But I'll fix that.
She smuggled it under her desk.
Yeah. I'll fix that. I'll get y'all some jerk. I got to get y'all some stickers. I got to get y'all some Wildboyz swag. I'll get you a thing.
Put that into that hashtag Justin's a pain in the ass at work thing. Get us some.
Justin's hell.
Justin hell. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Justin's hell. The most dangerous thing I did as a child, I freebased heroin one time when I was 9. That was cool.
I went way harder than I thought it was gonna.
No, never done heroin. What's the most dangerous thing? Like probably some sketchy stuff at church camp. Like I lived a pretty mild boy's life. Like I had I had 4-wheelers, and I had like, I would do that, but nothing crazy. I think, there was one time when I was a kid, and this was last summer, and I was at the lake with my dads, and we were trying to we were in the surf boat, and they had the jet skis behind it, like trying to do some my favorite movie in the world is Waterworld. And so there's these guys that are like smokers, and they have their jet skis, like smokers, and they're all running around and trying to jump the boat waves. And I said, you guys don't know how to ride those. So I said, watch this. And I had my buddy hop on the boat, and then I hopped on one of the Sea-Doos, and these Sea-Doos go like 80 miles an hour. And so I took the long loop, and then I made sure everyone was watching. And then I came back and when I hit this wave, like the nose of the Sea-Doo just went into it. Mm-hmm. And I went the opposite direction. And so it was a perpendicular motion and it obliterated my knee. And I laid in the water and couldn't breathe. I really thought this is it. Like I've killed myself or I've really hurt myself. And after about 2 minutes being 35 and being surrounded by your buddies, and I caught my breath, I was like, mortality is real. And you're not as resilient as you think you are. And you should stop showing off for your friends that at the end of the day really don't give a crap. That's the most like action I've had in a minute.
You should have tried a backflip.
How about this? One time I took in 3rd grade, Miss Ryan let me take home Snowball over Christmas break, which was the class gerbil. My mom was having a Christmas party. I came out with the gerbil and I was showing everybody, her colleagues. And what's 3rd grade? My son's in 1st grade. He's 7. So I was like 8 or 9. I go out and I'm showing everybody this gerbil about like, oh, hey, look, here's Snowball. And this is what he does. And look, he loves to give kisses. And like that rodent bit onto the end of my nose. I'm not exaggerating. I'm about to prove it to you. And I let go and he was hanging. And my mom like grabbed this rodent to get him off of my nose. And as she squeezed tighter, he bit harder. And then she started pulling. And I was like, Mom, Snowball! And then look at that. My nose, I am missing there's a divot in the end of my nose that still is probably in like Snowball's.
Snowball.
Snowball's dead. Let's be real. Snowball died 10 years ago. But Snowball, I have Snowball scars for the rest of my life.
That's amazing.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah, I have a buddy, Jay, he's just like a professional jet ski rider and he builds like jet skis for people. And he gets hired by people to come to parties and just backflip jet skis in their pond or in their pool.
I love that. And
that's all he does. He'll be like, yeah, I could just go to somebody's house, do like 10 backflips in their pool and get like $1,500 to $2,000 to just do
$15.
backflips.
Oh, damn.
That's all he does.
Does he have an Instagram? Because I'd like to give him a follow.
I'll send it to you. It's Moto Church. I think it's at Moto Church.
Oh, okay. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Summer,
Andy, what do you got?
I was going to say summer after my freshman year of college, we came back and my friend had a lake house and a boat. And so we went out to the lake, about 5 of us. And I was driving the boat. It wasn't my boat. It's my friend's dad's boat. And guy named Doug Wagner, he's kneeboarding and he's trying to do it when you go over the boat's wake, you do a 360 and land it, right? Well, I didn't know it at the time, but he wrapped the rope around him because how he did it, the trick, he wanted to land it just right. And he kind of had his hand wrapped, I guess, maybe around the rope, right? And so he goes, does the trick, lands and crashes. And I feel, yeah. And so it turns out I circle back around and I pull up and he's holding his hand out of the water and his pinky's gone and he's
liar.
Yeah, no, for real. And it degloved. They called it degloving, like, because the rope must have wrapped here somehow and it pulled his pinky off and like the skin off of like the back of his hand. I saw it. I couldn't believe it.
It's like those people who get their wedding ring caught on something and it just like pulls them.
Actually, that's why I wear this. My wedding ring's like this. What is it called? Silicone. Yeah. But I see it. He's holding his hand. We grab him in the boat and I just full throttle basically crash into the dock. And this lake isn't close to, you have to drive like 30 minutes out of town. So we jump in the car and we're driving like 100 miles an hour down the highway. And I see this cop pulled over, like at the side, and we pull right up to him and we hold this bloody mess of a towel, thing up. And he's like, follow me. And so we go and we drive maybe we drive 10 minutes and there's an ambulance like waiting right there. When we pull up and I jumped in the back with him and we went to the hospital and they had to.
Whoa! Someone just gets shot?
In Andy's place.
Andy, are you okay? Did you lose your pinky?
Good thing you got that window insurance.
Oh, Andy, don't do that to us. FaceTime us. Take us with you somehow.
Oh, come on.
Okay, Dylan.
We're gonna hear a loud scream in a minute.
Dylan, true or false? So let's unpack. process this real quick.
Okay.
Was Andy driving the boat? Did you pick up on that?
I don't know. He goes
because
so
if he was
in-depth.
driving the boat, he's responsible for ripping his buddy's pinky off, which I feel like that's
I'm
one
gonna
of those,
go with
like,
yes. I'm gonna go with
bro
yes.
debts.
Mm-hmm.
So he owes he should be sending him $1,500 every Christmas at least. Like, hey, sorry,
Right.
it's like back to workers comp.
Yeah.
Right
If
now-
anything, he's gonna send him cookies because that's what Andy does.
The lady fingers, right? Or those fingers.
He sends him finger cookies.
That's weird.
I want to know what's going on right now. I want to know where he went.
I do too. Well, I saw two dudes walking around in his shop before he left. He might be getting. The streets are wild in St. Louis.
Yeah, I bet they are. Oh God. Well, I don't want to tell anything until he comes back.
I
Hold on,
understand.
I'm gonna call him. Hold on.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and fill your glass with that Grey Goose again.
Oh, Grey Goose got your girl feeling loose. I got to find out what's going on. We put that. Oh, his phone's ringing.
He didn't take it with him.
Maybe I can yell really loud.
He's probably got his earbuds still in.
There he is.
Hey, it's me. Turn around. God damn it. I hung up too.
Oh,
Hey,
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. Are you okay?
I'm fine, but I don't know. Like, it was an incredible explosion, right? Like, what the fuck?
Sasquatch.
Was it like an explosion sound or did something hit the glass?
Yeah, it sounded like a gunfire. It sounded like a gunshot. Did you were able to hear it?
Yeah, well, me and Justin both heard it. It startled us.
I felt like I heard it before you did, Andy. You can't hear me. I don't know why I'm talking.
Justin's trying to talk to you, but he realized.
tell him Tell him I'm really proud of him and I love him.
You what?
I don't know what the hell that was, man. Like,
It sounded like, you know what it sounded like? A screen falling and hitting the ground.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't figure
Did
it
a
out.
screen?
Maybe
Did
it
a
was-
screen fall over? A screen pop?
No, like it was a crazy loud. Like, it wasn't something falling down. It was almost like a breaker, like a power surge. But we got all our
Uh-huh. What about his air compressor? Is there an airline that blew up?
Did an airline blow or anything? Justin's feeding me advice.
You don't have to give me credit.
Airline? No, my ears shut off.
Okay.
Right here.
Very first thing I thought of is that something hit your front glass,
Yeah, or someone like
like a bird or
punched the
something.
garage
flew in your
door.
window.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you have any dead birds
Just tell-
outside?
Tell him to set the alarm and quit worrying about it. Come back.
Yeah, set the alarm and come back and hang out with
it
us.
was a bird. It was like a triceratops.
There's Andy.
Had a-
Triceratops bird.
Whatever the
Yeah,
dinosaur-
triceratops birds in St. Louis. Dude, if you got fucking triceratops out front, then you got more problems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have no idea. I'm just super
What do you-
freaked out. Like, it's
Dylan, you think Andy's packing? Does he have a gun at his shop?
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin wanted to make sure you had your gun with you.
Oh, I feel like we just crossed a line. He lost some subscribers just then.
there's
I mean, your finger guns.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I guess we
Canceled
I can't figure it
podcast.
out. Like, I guess we just
We move on.
we move on. Other than
We adapt.
that was really abnormal, though.
I'll
Something
keep
happened.
my eyes out behind you in the glass to let you know if anything's on fire or anything.
Like, I thought it
Hey.
came from.
I don't smell it.
Smell anything.
I thought it came from like the.
Oh, we hear you.
Dylan, text his wife and tell her to show up with a scary clown mask or something.
Was that like the mic or something?
It could have been
I
me.
think like it could have been.
Justin just had a real loud pop fart. Is all it was.
That's all it was, dude. My guts. I got that revenge. I've been in Mexico just drinking water.
Well,
Popcorn toots.
I'm spooked, guys.
All right, it's all right. We'll keep an eye out for you. You've got us.
Today. I've got my.
I can hang up now.
I got this guy with me. It's like a really
Let's
neat
talk-
color.
That's it.
It's
Springfield
it's like
XT40.
same color as military. It's a SIG.
Yeah,
Oh, 6
I
hour.
like it.
yeah. Got that OD
I got a
green.
SIG 320, my favorite.
All right, I'm gonna hang up.
All right, let's just talk about guns for half an hour. So you have no idea what that was? Can you hear me? No.
Uh-oh.
You just had really bad diarrhea.
Oh, he's coming back.
All right. Are you all right?
Hey,
Is
buddy.
everything okay? We're
Are you
concerned.
okay?
Did somebody try to sniper me? Is that what it is?
They're really bad at it.
Dylan, you got a hit out on me or something?
Maybe.
Maybe we printed some bad shirts and customers upset.
Just send them
I don't
some
know.
cookies.
All right.
So me and Justin had a discussion when you were gone for a second. We wanted to know, were you driving the boat and ripped the dude's finger off?
I was.
Oh.
Yeah. He was one of my best friends, and
Was.
I mean, he
Was.
lives.
He's-
He
Was.
lived.
The boy who lived.
Well, we were
It-
saying, I said that you would.
Did you find
probably-
the finger? Where's the finger at?
No.
Do fingers float?
So it, like, if you can imagine, it was right here. It was his left hand, which was good, right? But right here, there was like nub part, and they decided to taper it. They tapered it. So if you imagine, they cut the rest off and kind of tapered it down.
How do you taper
Yeah.
Simpsons.
it? Right.
Yeah.
He's a cartoon character now.
Super sad. Sorry to bum everybody out. That's Bummer Town right there. Like, it's not as fun of a story.
I like
Sorry.
it.
Do you
But
send
real
him like a
happened.
special Christmas gift every year or anything, or like workers' comp? Like, hey, here's $1,500. Or,
He wasn't. Unfortunately, fortunately, he wasn't working for me. Yeah, I never even heard of workman's comp back when I was 18 or whatever.
12. Yeah.
But yeah, that happened, and so I guess that's a good pointer. Don't do that. So don't when you
It's
are
a good pinky.
when you
Not
are
pointer.
water skiing or kneeboarding or whatever. That rope is dangerous. I was
Hey.
depositioned by the insurance company. So his insurance company, of course, went after the boat. His insurance company,
Manufacturer.
yeah, went after the boat manufacturer and whoever else, or his dad's policy at the lake. And I had to do a deposition, and I think they were trying to say there was too much slack in the rope and stuff like that. But sad
So
story.
when we're at the lake and we surf, but we have these boats that like you can surf behind. Andy, are you okay? Like, are we gonna?
I don't know
Are you
what
worried?
the fuck.
Just hold your pistol
Little
like
bit.
this the entire time.
Yeah, just get that Glock,
Do a couple
And a Rari.
do a couple desk pops.
Andy. You give me any amount of money, literally $4,500. I will cash app you if you'll just one through the roof right now.
Yes, please.
Come on, I dare you.
What the fuck? I
I
chambered
triple
it. Like,
dog
it's
dare you.
chambered right now, so I better be careful.
I double dog dare you. Dylan, get in on this.
Yeah, I'll
Will
put
I
in
be
some money too.
Will I be a lifetime member of the Wildboyz if I do that shit right now?
Without
wild.
question, if you pop one right now, you are the president. I report to you, Andy. 5,
That sounds like a hell of a deal.
Well,
4,
Let me see. That would
3.
only
2, 1. Oh my gosh, Andy! I can't believe you just did that. What a wild boy! You're the wildest of wild
I hope
boys.
it's like-
bro.
God, what the
So-
fuck? Anyway, all right.
When
Better
we
stories.
surf, No, so we surf, and that's the first thing I tell people. Like, we have this boat, you fill it full of water, believe it or not. You put a bunch of water in the boat, and then it makes a big wave, and then you surf behind it. And that's what we tell people. Like, that rope, because it's about a 12-foot rope, like, you cannot, and there's like handles on it, so you have to like, manage your rope while you're trying to surf, and then once you surf, you let go of the rope. So that's awful, and I'm so sorry.
It's awful.
That's so
It's
traumatic.
Yeah, I was like, it shook us. That was a big
Yeah.
deal. Like,
Yes.
like you said, you feel like you're
Shook
immortal.
me.
When I was 18, I was like, nothing's happening. We're good. Live forever. But we were pretty shook. All right, next. So I've got some questions still. Can I
Oh.
ask one?
Please.
Tri-loc.
We went right
That's
from
dirty.
finger-
That's
we
a
went
low
right from
blow, bro.
we went
Well,
right
here's
from
the thing.
somebody almost breaking in and murdering
thing.
you, fingers ripped off, to tri-loc.
That's how I live. That's how I live. Here, look.
Right.
That's a low
Tri-loc.
blow.
I know that you own one or multiple,
I own 2. Yeah.
but
Tri-loc.
Fill it up.
but what?
Grey Goose got your girl feeling loose. That's what. So tri-loc, let me tell you about tri-loc. Every person that I talk to that sells equipment that people like we use to make our living thinks that tri-loc is the greatest thing that's ever existed. I can't believe you don't use tri-loc. Well, you know what? Come to my shop and show me how to use tri-loc. Now, this is coming from the Sour Patch Kid that doesn't use the company that invented tri-loc, right? This is from, I use all of the equipment that we use, we are rigging to try to make it work with tri-loc. So for example, our darkroom automation, we have a autocoder that's made by Ford, Big Blue, right? M&R autocoder. Then we have the Kiwo XTS, and we also have the Newark Starlight exposure unit. And we have the Lotus Holland auto reclaimer, and we have workhorse presses. None of them are meant to like play well together, but they're supposed to kind of work together, and they're fine as long as you don't use tri-loc. So we have tried, and bless him, Jaron, I have not tried to use tri-loc. Let me be the first to confess. I have not tried it. I have asked Jaron to use tri-loc, and when we are a shop that has 6 automatic presses and we have a team that already knows what they're doing, and I asked them to like, hey, y'all, turns out we've been doing this wrong. We need to do it like this. And I only have one person to interface with. That's really hard. It's really hard to like change it, you know, while we're working on it. And so everything that I hear about tri-loc makes a lot of sense. And my like echo chamber, like, so we all have, like you two have each other, and Dylan, you receive a lot of, like you're on the better end of this deal than Andy, whether you recognize it or not, but of having someone that like to bounce all of your shop ideas and off to, and hey, we're going to try this, or we try this, that for me is Brett Bowden. So me and Brett are like, we call each other sister shops. You know, I'm in Oklahoma, he's in Texas. Oklahoma's above Texas. But we're really close to each other. But I feel like with Brett, with him, you know, our shops are about the same size. Our shop culture is almost identical. We do a lot of the same things. He's been doing it longer than I have. And so he's my big brother. Like, I just look up to him. I'm like, hey, bro, like, that's what I try to, and so to try to work tri-loc into our system, and I tested against him, you know, he's not using tri-loc either because his presses are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and they are not Fords. And so I want to be using it, especially now, because one of our biggest account is account from out of state, and we only do contract printing for them. And every run is like, each run is like 500 pieces, and it's usually 4 or 5 colors plus. And we have to set it up, and we have to get a press check, and they have to approve it. And then if they don't like it, then we change things, and they don't know how to screen print. And then we also have to like tag print, and like we have to do all this special finishing for them to make it perfect. And so now for once, it's like, oh my gosh, I wish we used tri-loc, because it would take our setups like to the moon. And Andy, I used your example with the Swedish shop who was talking shit on you guys of like, hey, we set up the 6-color job in about 12 minutes. And I told my production manager, like, when we do our scheduling, you know, we've built this algorithm that has said, this is how we schedule. And it's based upon this formula. That is, how many screens is it? You know, I think we allot like 15 minutes per color for setup. So if it's a 6-color job and it's 400 shirts, we know that, I think we budget our print shop to print 350 shirts per hour. I think that's the real number that we just are like, this is the pace. So that plus however many screens it is times, you know, 15 plus some pre-production stuff plus some finishing things equals how long this should take. And so that's how we book our print shop, is by capacity-based scheduling. We have 6 presses. We know that each press should run for 7 hours in a day. And we know that we print 350 shirts per hour. And we know that these jobs should take this much time. So we have a scheduler within Printavo that we use, and it's, that's how we schedule. And we could get more juice out if we were using tri-loc. And I want to be using tri-loc, but we don't have the right equipment to be using tri-loc. So we're kind of this says is the conclusion that Jaron has landed on. Like for us we've tried the carrier sheets, we've tried the thing on our Starlight, we've tried all of the stuff, and XTS creates everything creates variance. And that's the problem. So when the XTS has a mild amount of variance, and then our new arc has a little bit of variance, and then when we go put it on the press and put it in the saddle, there's an ounce of variance there. So it's like, why should we even use this? Because we can just pop screens in, and we can, the untested conclusion is that most people would probably be faster without tri-loc, which I would argue, like, we have turnover. We're trying to have consistency on all of these presses. Let's eliminate variables. Let's not just assume that everything's going to be okay. And so that's kind of the tension that we have between us right now, is like, short of me being production manager for a week, like, all right, y'all, this is how we're doing it. I don't care if we don't get anything printed this week, but you're like, short of some event like that, or switching teams, I don't know what to do.
Now, are they saying it's not working on the press, or it's not working with your imaging?
Well, the press is where that's where the rubber meets the road, right? Like if we think we set it up right on the press, or set it up right
the only problem, we used to have the Sabre, and the only problem we had with the tri-loc.
You had a Sabre?
Yeah. So we had a Sabre, and we had a Sportsman right across from each other. So the only problem we had was that on the M&R, the pallets are basically riding right above the arm. But on the Workhorse, there's like a 5-inch gap or something from the pallet to where the arm is. Like, they're a lot higher. So all we did is we made a stopping block. Like, we had my brother-in-law is like a welder at a fabrication shop. So he just made me a stopping block that was 5 or 6 inches tall. So that when you put the tri-loc on, it would stop against that block, versus like on the M&R, you have like a yellow stopping block. So really that was the only thing we had to do. And then other than that, it's the same as pull it to the same 3 corners. Even on the Sabre, they have the cutout where, the tri-loc would be. So, I mean, we did it. It was fine. And I mean, we are one of those shops that swear by it. But I mean, I'm also part of the camp of like, do whatever works. Like, if they're efficient and the dudes are super fast and they can do it their way, then whatever. But realistically, like you said, if you have turnover and there's no consistency, and then when you have a new guy in, it takes him 45 minutes to set up a job, then that's where it sucks. Like, you should, every new guy may be trained with the tri-loc, and then the old guys, if they just want to eagle eye it from then on, then whatever. But I swear by it. It's super fast. I mean, we do a lot of like 10, 12 color prints, and we can set up within minutes and have it registered, ready to go. So
what say you, Dr. Rudman? You're biting your lip. What do you want to say? Say it.
I would say this. I
appreciate that, Dylan. That gives me courage that like we can make a Sabre.
It's doable.
Work. Thank you.
It's just, I agree with you though. It's like teaching an old dog new tricks. They're like, no, I do it this way. It's totally fine. I don't want to mess with that. They don't want to learn a new thing that hinders their day, but it is definitely doable. And it's faster to set up, in my opinion, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say that Dylan is correct in that I'm 100% concur. And it is a matter of consistency, because like Dylan said, some people set up presses faster than others, and
it just takes
probably can set up a press as fast as a tri-loc sometimes, but not all the time. And so
it just takes a lot of the human error out of it. You know what I mean? Yes. If everything from CTS to like Unicoat to CTS to press, really all they're doing is the same motion. They're pulling it to the 3 points, locking it down. And then when it's on press, if usually the only time something's going to be out of registration, and we don't even use registration marks anymore because it's rare that something's out. Anytime it is out, it's out by like a hair, and it's usually an issue with screen tension or, whatever, just one shitty screen in the bunch. And then if it's slightly out, we just micro it real quick and then lock it down again and print the job. So that's what I said. It's really just how fast can somebody pull the screens to the corner and lock that one down and go to the next one.
So Andy, I told Jaron, like, I wanted to eliminate tape. I told him this before I heard you say it. Like I said, let's eliminate tape. What's it take to eliminate tape? Well, first we have to eliminate registration marks. Okay, how do we solve that problem? Like Dylan just said, tri-loc. Okay, so we have to tri-loc. That's version 1 of eliminating tape. And then version 2 is to be determined, but we haven't figured out how to do that yet. But that's
still working on that. I'm getting closer. But on this tri-loc, I would like to say just a couple of things for that. Here's what I would do, if I was in your spot. I would diagnose where the problem is, and so you can do very simple things because the tri-loc is a very simple system. There's just 3 spots that need to line up when you image it, and then 3 spots when you register it on press. And so I would do something like this. Like I would start eliminating where the problem is. And so, for example, like I would on our wax machine, if I think that maybe there's where the problem is, I would just print a registration mark and then pull the screen off, put it back on, and then print another registration mark. Did they line up?
Ooh.
You know, so is it a problem like loading into the wax machine or not? Like so if the registration marks hit one another, well, then we know it's not the wax, right? And then I would move down the line because it's got to work. It just works. And like Dylan said, maybe screen tension, but you could eventually arrive there and start figuring it out why it's not working. For example, on press, you could do kind of the same thing with the registration mark. You know, you take that same screen, put it in head 1, sync it, print it, and then move the screen to head 2. Did it line up? Oh, it didn't? Well, then is it just head 2 that's out of whack and it lined up everywhere else? You know what I mean? So like, I think you could chase it and eventually figure it out.
Or you just get one guy who's willing to try tri-loc and one guy who's like, fuck this, I'm never going to use it. And then give them the same job and see who sets it up faster.
You mean race?
Yeah. I mean, you could just straight up race, but I'm just saying like, that's where the proof is to be like, oh, if we both have 6 color, 8 color jobs to do. Let's see who can get it registered and ready to go faster. And then it's like, oh, obviously this is faster. Maybe I should look into it more.
It hasn't been important enough. Like I try to go to when I'm in production, I try to go to production in the morning and high five everybody and tell them good morning. And I try to go in production in the afternoon before they go home. And I don't like my time. So I'm trusting people in my organization. There's only one person in my organization right now I can trust to implement tri-loc, and like my ops manager would be the person that would naturally like, oh, this is what we're doing. She's not a screen printer, and that's on purpose. Like she doesn't know how to screen print, and that's okay. She started at the dryer making $10 an hour, the QC position that should be higher. And she just, you know, she dead ass told me one day, it was awesome. She goes, I'll keep doing this. You are wildly underutilizing me. I said, oh. Okay. Oh. And then we got there.
I think you do you, Justin. I'm not going to give you shit.
No. We need to be doing tri-loc. Like there's no, because no, for real. I went to my buddy's shop down the street and he started a new shop and he had a screen printer working there. And I said, do you guys use tri-loc? He goes, oh yeah, we live and die by it. And he looked at his press operator and said, Daniel, could you manually register a screen? And he laughed at him. So the press operator, like, here's what's funny. And you get to a certain size. I'm one of the best screen printers. Like I'm better than third best as far as I'm concerned in our business, not because I know how to screen print, but because of my troubleshooting skills. Like what you just did, Andy, like if I gave up a day and went to like on this tri-loc journey, which I should have done, then I would probably be closer to solving this problem. But I'm just like, we should probably be tri-locking. Yeah, y'all should figure that out. Right. And that's on me. That's not on Jaron. That's not on Katie. That's fully on me.
Because that's your responsibility as the leader. Everything's your fault. Like if you don't make something happen,
dude, everything's your fault.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
What up, Gold Peak? Did you get a sponsorship yet? Would you guys quit jacking around? You want me to call somebody? You want Gold Peak?
Yep.
Can I be a wild boy with you? Can y'all start a street gang and I'm in? What do y'all want?
I feel like after this conversation, what we need to do, Andy, is we need to bring a tri-loc to Justin's, eat barbecue, go to the lake, and just hang out for a week.
Yeah.
See, we're solving problems for him. He's solving problems for us. We're going to be wild boys.
What do you want from Gold Peak? Real talk. Suss it out for me real quick. What do you want?
Well,
What do you want?
Not a lot. It's not a lot.
Tell me. What do you want?
originally I just drank because I liked it. It was something I always drink. I always drink iced tea. I drink a fuckload of it all day long. And then it turned into a thing where everybody was saying that the screen printer's drink is whatever. And then me and Andy kept saying all we wanted as a sponsorship was a 6-pack, like one 6-pack for them to just recognize.
6-pack a month.
Oh, well, I just said a 6-pack.
Oh,
but anyway,
you're cheap. You're cheap.
But anyway, like it became a thing for months and months and months. People were always sending me pictures of and all this other stuff. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to actually like send them a legit email. I sent like from different platforms like Instagram and actual like through their website.
I already listened to this podcast.
Yeah.
I already listened. That was like 6 ago. So what do you want from Gold Leaf or what are they called?
Gold Peak.
Gold Peak. Okay.
I don't know what I want. I just want
recognition.
I want to be recognized that I drink a shitload of it and they love me back.
I think we joked about at one point, all we wanted to do from them is them to just
Yes.
never
liked a single post.
Like just like the post. That's all you got to do.
That's because they suck at social media. Not because you guys aren't doing awesome. It's because they're terrible at social media and being connected.
They're terrible.
Their culture
people.
sucks.
By the way, here is
T-Java.
Teyaba.
That's what Eric, that's Night Owls right there. He texts me that all the time. And he says, first of all, way
Amy
better.
Too. Amy too. Amy loves T-Java.
Amy Baker.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I sent her a case of it a little while ago.
I tried sending Eric a case and I sent it at the week that Texas was shut down, with the power and everything, or I think it was the week before, the week of anyway. I got a notification that my money was
that it froze.
All it said was it probably did freeze or somebody probably drank it, but it just said refund, unable to deliver. And so,
hey, real quick, I want to address Andy. Could you put that picture of that drink back up here to the screen again? And then what I would appreciate is hearing our friend from up north. How do you pronounce that word? What's it called? What'd you say, Dylan?
I said T-Java.
That's nailed it. It's called Teyaba.
Nope. T-Java.
Teyaba. No one calls me Justin. They call me Houston. The J is silent. Teyaba.
Teyaba.
Let me get some of that T-Java up in here. That'd be good. Get it going this morning.
Yep,
hey, we have to go.
It.
We gotta hit the gas because I got dinner here in a little bit.
All right. Well, Justin's gonna give us his shop hacks.
Yep.
You ready?
Yes.
Yep.
You ready?
Do it.
Okay, y'all buckle up. Anybody that's listening, take notes because what I'm about to tell you, this is what I did.
This is hype.
I've listened to your show, and I've listened to all these like rookie ass shop hacks, and they're great. And I went to my team and I said, "Hey, your boy's fixing to go out and tell a bunch of lies about us in Oklahoma." And I asked all of my department, like my middle managers and my department managers, give me the shop hacks. And they all have emailed me. And I have shop hacks from every department. And so I just want to like run through this and take y'all to church real quick, if I can have your permission.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Okay. Shop hacks. First, this is from Jaron. And I'm going to say these and we can't like discuss all of these. You can just either be like thumbs up, thumbs down, or like maybe, right?
We'll give you the gladiator.
Are you entertained? Yeah, dude.
All right, let's do it.
I'm with you. All right. Jaron says, if you don't want to pay for the Action Engineering roller, then expose a coated screen, tape it up, load it with curable reducer or soft hand, and then use a squeegee.
Yep. Heard that one.
And for those of you that don't understand what that means, look up to it. Medium, that's good.
It's like a 75.
Andy, let me see some hands, Andy. Come on, get your hand up. Where are we at? Okay, perfect. That's good. That's all I need. Okay. He said, then you can roll before the base with spray tack and to keep lint and strings out. It's pretty good.
Oh, right. Yep.
Okay.
Just did that 2 weeks ago on a large run, saved our butt.
So we're a little higher.
A little higher.
I'm here now.
Okay, thank you. All right. How about, let me run this one by you. The tape curtain. You heard of that? The tape
Oh,
curtain?
yeah. Eric's
Yep.
Eric's
Eric, that was Eric's.
Yeah.
He swore by that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Run a strip of tape in the frame of your base screen so that as the machine indexes, the sticky side of tape drags lint and strings off the shirt.
Lint balls.
Good.
Have you
Okay.
done that,
Been there.
Dylan? Have you ever done
I
it?
have not. No.
I haven't either, but I want to. So next.
good.
I'm
We
gonna
do it.
definitely.
Yeah. Regular practice at Oklahoma Shirt Company.
Cool.
Okay. Sharpies. So here's what's funny. I
was hoping that was the end of it. You're just like,
Sharpies.
Boom.
Boom.
No, Tess, my primary helper, she handles all of our purchasing. So like all of our departments be like, what do you need this week? Oh, we need more tape, or we need Sharpies, or we need trash can liners, or toilet paper, and all of the things. And dude, the amount of Sharpies that my organization goes through is a trigger for me every single week. She sends it out Mondays at like 2 p.m. and everyone's like, we need more Sharpies. And I hate Sharpies, but
Dylan?
Jaron says,
Oh yeah.
hit it, Dylan. What? Dylan, you
All right,
love
just had a
Sharpies?
question. I was going to ask Dylan or even you, if the Sharpie isn't sharp, it's no longer a Sharpie. Do you
That's a
trash
dolly.
it?
I
It's a
do,
dolly.
but that's because I'm wasteful. It's a dolly. I hate them. If it's not sharp, I don't want it. So Jaron says, Sharpie marker on emulsion comes out in reclamation. So train your darkroom tech or production manager to notice things in invoices or print notes and communicate ideas on the screens. It's pretty good.
so what are you doing with that? I guess.
Sharpie.
Just write love notes like, hey, print this first, or make sure like highlight white, or I love you,
because it'll
or
come
happy
off.
anniversary. Yeah.
Right.
Just write on them. Like take a Sharpie and write on the emulsion, hey, make me one kid's shirt of this because I want it to look great, or, hey, this is fixed, or, hey, this had circle a like pinhole. If there's a pinhole on it, just circle it, and put an arrow pointing to it, and then they'll tape over.
Every once in a while,
That's a good one. I like that
we'll
one.
write a print order on them.
That one's a thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Oh, Andy, can I see it?
Yep, for sure.
Thank
I like
you.
that
All
one.
right. This is a shot across the bow. Jaron says, this is Jaron's last big ass shop hack. He says, buy an auto reclaimer.
Hits me in the heart.
Hey, DG, can I make this easy for you?
Yeah.
Buy Lotus Holland and stop sweating it. Stop
Okay.
sweating it.
All right.
Ecotex is better. And guess what? Maybe one day we'll graduate to an Ecotex, or maybe we'll stay with our Lotus Holland. But like, if the price point is what's telling you, like I almost bought the Lawson one because
It's not the
hybrid
price
boy.
point for me. It's just a matter of fucking fitting it. Like I can't fit an Ecotex. It's too big.
16 foot is our Lotus Holland.
Right.
16 linear feet. What's an
Yeah.
Ecotex,
See,
Andy?
it's 25.
3 chambers.
It's,
3 chambers is 25.
It's 15 feet.
No, it's not.
And it's faster.
You're full of shit.
Okay.
15
Okay,
feet for the
operations
fucking
manager.
rinse.
Hey, Katie, the ops manager, says this.
Mhm.
And her first one, I'm going to take credit for these. This one was my idea. Our shootout stations at the end of the dryers, iconic. So here's what I told her. So we had in our corner of our shop, we had the like cart, the U-line cart that we all have billions of. We had the shop vac. The shop vac had the hose going to the like mesh t-shirt that was over it with a billion rubber bands. And then you'd lay the shirt on it and you'd shoot it. And that would be our shootout station. We had one of them. So at the end of all of our dryers, we have 8-foot plastic like tables, like where they can stage shirts and do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
I told Jaron, I said, get a hole saw, like 3 inches, and punch a hole in the end of all of our tables at the end of each dryer, and buy a shop vac for each one. We have 3 gas dryers. So I said at the end of each dryer, put a shop vac underneath it, and then attach the hose to the bottom of the table, and then make it flush mounted with the top. So you could just lay a shirt on top of there and you could just, we have a little like extendo clip thing from the ceiling that like holds the guns, so it has some like, because if you hold a gun,
I love how Justin's
Yeah.
talking with his hands.
yeah, if you use everybody drops a shootout gun 100 times a day. So like tie it to something and you can get that elastic thing, like the
Right.
fishing, like, so tie it to that and then just shoot out on your table. So Katie says shootout
Thumbs up.
stations at each dryer. Yeah, do that. Hey, if you have 1 dryer, have 1 shootout station at the end of that dryer. If you have 2 dryers, hey, you just spent $60,000 on another dryer. Spend another $100 on your shootout.
Dylan, you don't need that though, right? You don't goof. Isn't that?
No, I don't fuck stuff up.
But
like
that's
you
good
do.
for everybody
the
else.
other thing.
That's good for everybody
Yeah.
else.
This is from Marshall Atkinson. He gave me a little pro tip, and we actually did it. And it's believe it or not, like it's awesome.
Justin reached out to everybody in the industry. Like,
no, Marshall works in his screen room.
Yeah, he does. It's tough times, man. Pandemic was hard for everybody.
Right.
To facilitate shelving allocated blanks in an organized way, Katie. So all your blank goods, when they come in, where you check in, where you get all of your stuff ready, sort by the last digit of the invoice number. So for us, like we generate a quote, that quote grows up to become an invoice. Dylan, your invoice for your shirts is 14327. Okay. So if it ends in 7 in our warehouse where we check in, all of the zeros, all of the invoices that end in 0 are here, 1s are here, 2s are here, 3s are here, 4s are here, 5s are here. So when you need to reference, because we've got like 80 linear feet of industrial, like Lowe's type shelving, where there's a bunch of cardboard boxes, and you need to I need to find 15764. Like, well, you just go to bin 4 and then you look for 15764 instead of like the whole wall. That's a good one. Then this one sucks. This one's not good, but you have to do it. And then I'm giving you the tip. A tablet that's assigned to each press for checking mocks and verifying blanks eliminates lots of traffic and time waste. Right. So
I agree with that one.
When Katie told me like, hey, we got to get tablets for each press operator, I said, you can go pound sand, because in my mind, I'm thinking iPads, right? I'm not spending $600 per person for an iPad that they're going to drop in 2 weeks. No, but then I realized on Amazon, you can pay $79 and you can get a tablet that will access the web, which is all if you use Printavo or you use a cloud-based management system, or even if you just use Google Sheets, like you can put things in your people's hands that it's okay if they break it. But when it changed my mind that like I can spend $80 on a computer, that was a bit of a like mind-blowing, game-changing moment that like, yeah, I'll buy these Fire tablets all day long and give them to people, and then they can just have their tablet that they interact with all day. And that's very helpful.
We were just talking about that the other day with the Printavo scan thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could, if we had time, I could do a whole podcast on this very point, but all right, next.
We'll talk about
where we at.
Thumbs up for that. 100%, 100%.
Hundo P. Okay. From my customer care team, wink, saying good job. He said, so we use Help Scout. Andy, you use Missive. Some people use Front. Like just a centralized inbox is a really big deal as your team grows, because you will have turnover. And when you have turnover, all of the people that email that salesperson will keep emailing that salesperson. Like just team inbox is a good thing. A shared office was a big deal for our customer care team, because so much like there's just, hey, what did you do here? Should I price this thing or should I do that? And so it was a big idea to have a shared office. Was a natural way to offer support and to help with problem solving, especially with when you onboard someone new, you can just throw them right in with that team and they're inoculated with all of the company culture and information really quick.
I agree.
A quote setup. So we have help, like we have a person that's a designated like, hey, tee up the quote with all of the things, just do the data entry and processing. And then you can pass it off to another person that can then engage with the customer on a real level, especially for, when you're getting 25 to 30 quote requests a day, it becomes very like hard to stay on top of that. And if you count on a person to take it from farm to table, then sometimes that person will fail you. This is a big one. Also, I have to pee so bad. I don't know how you handle that.
Pee. Intermission.
Okay, hold on.
Intermission.
All right, let me give you this. Let me drop this bomb. Then I'm going to go whiz real quick. I was into like year 6 before I bought phones. It was just like everyone use your iPhone, and like customers would email us. And I downloaded this thing called Grasshopper that allowed us to get to their phone. Grasshopper was fine. So my ex sales manager told me, hey, we got to have phones. I said, okay. Every new sales manager gets like their first 3 months where they get to call the shots and we do whatever they want. This one said, we need phones. I said, okay, let's get phones. But I don't want to run a bunch of like telephone wire all over the business for all of these phones. Turns out you can buy Wi-Fi enabled phones that work in your organization. And then it turns out when there's a global pandemic and you send all of your salespeople home, they can pick up their phone off of their desk and take it home and connect it to their Wi-Fi, and then the phone rings. I'll be right back. You guys discuss.
Oh, I was hoping he didn't have pants on.
Dylan, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay.
I knew you would.
You
Here,
need to
leave
do
me
it.
here.
I know you have to also. Go ahead.
Thanks for your permission. All by myself.
Hey, Dylan, I still have my headphones in and can hear you while I'm peeing.
Awesome. I want to hear you pee. Did you like my singing? I'm not as good as you, though.
Not true. Hear me peeing?
Yep.
Hopefully we can edit that out.
Nah, it's good audio. Sounds like a solid stream. You're doing good.
It's a lot more clear than I thought it was. I love that.
Thanks.
Mexico.
Justin was just giving me a booty dance right before you came back.
OnlyFans content. Okay,
All right.
so back into so now we're moving to the warehouse.
Well, I got to do the phones real quick. Is it just you bought the phones and it's its own thing, or is it like through like Verizon or through?
No, so we found a local, like you call your local company who like, hey, we need phones for our office.
Right.
Whoever that company is. Ours is called Travis Voice, right? Something insignificant. And they said, yeah, we can do this. And I said, hey, are there phones? Because why we really did it was because I like to build walls and then tear them down because I think I know what we're doing. And then like our business model changes, or we need more offices, or we need more people. And so I was like, I can't install a bunch of phone lines because next month I'm going to change my mind about where this person offices. And so then I said, is there a Wi-Fi phone, or is there such thing as something that doesn't need a line? And he was like, well, turns out there's this thing. They're like $400 each. But it's awesome because when I have a salesperson that gets sick or someone goes home or whatever, they just literally unplug their phone from the wall and plug it into their house.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's not a mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a cell phone like that.
Correct.
So
like
yeah, it's a phone that it's like voice over IP, right? And you and that phone has a dong, has a dong.
It's a boy phone.
Right.
We can just call it a boy phone. It's fine.
I was going to say a dongle, but it was like a USB or a device that it can connect to Wi-Fi. Yeah, totally.
I'm still stuck on dong. It's all right. Keep going.
We have some phones here that are actually like Cat 5'd in or, plugged in. And then some that are so far away that they're dong. Yeah. We have some that are donged in and some that aren't.
Just, okay.
You know how it goes.
In.
You guys get it. You guys get it.
Next.
So we're moving to the warehouse, and this is cute because I'm hearing some of my people that don't really understand how our business works, but I'm reading it exactly as they wrote it, and then I'm gonna like give some clarification.
Okay.
PSST, free PO ordering system at no extra shipping cost. This purchasing method has our distributors/vendors organize and fulfill our orders with our internal invoice number attached. When it arrives, blanks are basically pre-sorted for us. Now, let me say that differently. What that means is each vendor, and by each vendor, I mean Sanmar, Alpha Broder, SS Activewear, they have a method, and PSST is for Sanmar. It's called picked separately, shipped together. And so when we order our blanks, we can go in and say, all right, invoice number 17463 is the PO. And then we say 4 red shirts, 4 red extra large 3600s. Then she goes and opens a new order ticket and says 24657, 17 smalls, 4 mediums, 3, like whatever the order is. And basically when boxes show up to us in the PO number, it has the invoice number. So they're pre-checked in. We don't have we don't open a box and there's like 4 hot pink extra larges in the bottoms and then all blacks on the top like we used to. Now, this shipping method is for decorators that are primarily servicing brokers. So a broker can go on and say, I need these shirts. Can you drop ship them to Upstate Merch? And then they just show up to you and you know that you're going to get this thing and then you decorate it and then it goes back to this thing. It's essentially white labeled shirt distribution. But Sanmar, Alpha Broder, and SS Activewear offer these services. Now, Sanmar charges per year for this service. We and if you if you spend a certain amount of money with them every year, they don't charge you for that service. So if you think that this would be important to your operations, then, reach out to your local t-shirt rep and ask them like, hey, talk to me about this, like PSST or this, like, and basically what happens, you get a bag. So when UPS shows up, we'll get a bag. Sometimes they'll have 4 red mediums in it. We know, right, that this goes to this invoice. And it makes it helpful if something's what we call printing off the truck. If there's a shirt that needs to be done today, then we grab, it comes right, it makes the check-in process go much, much faster, but it's not free. And our people think it's
like
free.
You said,
it
is if our main supplier, our main distributor, I should say, is SNS, and we're on their Freight Advantage program. And so it's a really great thing because you can, for example, a contractor can ship to us, just like you described, and they are not charged freight. And let's say they don't have the, even if it's under $200, and they also don't have the volume to get that free freight. So, it's advantage to us, and it's called the Freight Advantage. But we tried to get it with Sanmar, but could not without paying, like you just said, because we don't buy enough from Sanmar. We buy from Sanmar, but yeah.
All right, go ahead, Justin. I'm trying to get you out of here. I appreciate you.
If you order freight, like industrial shelving, like you've seen at Home Depot or Lowe's, you can call, you have a local person, and you can say like, hey, I want that thing they have at Sam's Club or Lowe's or Home Depot, and they'll bring that to you. We recently recognized that you can integrate into the shelving a work cell. So if you have like a whole wall that's full of these things, you can, on like the second shelf, you can make it someone's desk. Mind blowing.
Wait,
like as far as
I don't get it. Can you elaborate? What was that?
Yeah. So how do you guys store t-shirts at your shop? Like, do you use like those silver stainless steel, like racks that hold, or do you use like the Home Depot, Lowe's,
the
like
big ones.
freight racks? The big boys. And you use freight racks?
Use the black ones, those slightly smaller ones.
We're the big boys. Don't tell me I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're not a big boy. All right.
Yeah. No matter what shelving system you use, put one at like 40 inches off the ground. Put one 40 inches off the ground, and that can be someone's desk. So don't feel like in your warehouse or in your check-in or freight spaces that you have to have like all of your shelvings and then a desk next to it. No, you can put your desk into the shelving. We were able to add another like significant amount of square footage into our warehouse space because we integrated people's desks into the shelves.
We're not there yet. But we'll get some bigger shelves.
With some dongs.
With some dong shelves. This I stole from Brett Bowden. Pallet jack. You heard of it?
Yep.
If you do freight, we were the dummies that gave up like 16 square foot in our warehouse space because we had this blue thing I bought from Uline that you like roll the pallet on and then you dump it and you pull the jack out and then it tells you this weighs 467 pounds. No, instead, buy a pallet jack that has a scale in it, and Uline sells them. You can buy a pallet jack that you just go up to a freight pallet and then it has a readout and it says 269 pounds.
I did not know that existed, and that's cool. Awesome.
How much
double
more
thumbs?
Money? Double thumbs on that.
Doubles.
Yeah. But do they make them in pink? Because our pallet jack is pink, and I'm not buying no blue one or whatever. No dice.
Just spray paint it.
I don't spray paint it.
Okay, good idea.
Okay, moving on to embroidery. This one's not the. Use a medical syringe to reach hard to reach oil spots for fickle machine maintenance. That's good. You can use a syringe to like get in where you can't. Fire. This is a Boy Scout tip. This is good. This one impressed me. We know it, but how he phrased it. Fire is the sharpest tool for trimming.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Like hit it with a lighter.
Yeah. If you have embroidery department, you're not using a lighter, you're doing it wrong. Like lighters, if you have stragglers at the end, don't use scissors. Just hit it with a lighter and it'll go away. This is what he offered. Matt used to be, he started as a quality control person and then he moved to the embroidery department to run it. And I like this. I like this because Matt is someone who came from no one that had screen printing experience. And he just figured this out on his own. When catching multiple jobs at the same time, have a magic number. That's not 12. 12's hard. I use 10. It's the arbitrary number I rush one side of the dryer to so that I can guarantee I have enough time to pause and recount /fold/box elsewhere. This way I can only actively count one side of the dryer at a time. So he'll like rack up 10 shirts and then he'll just grab the other ones and he'll work in tens so that then he can quickly get back to the unit of his choice. And then this is a good one. Use a little bit of finesse, the actual ink product, not like Bruno Mars drip that you have.
I was wondering where this was going.
Use a little bit of HD clear, finesse, like curable reducer, whatever you want to call it. Use a little bit of finesse to grease an ink cup before mixing inks. And it makes it blend just that much easier. Supposedly.
A little bit of finesse.
Well, that makes sense. Like if you mix with like the cups that we use, they have the like little slight like divots in the bottom, and it's always hard to get shit out of there or scrape the edges. So if you coated the inside with that first, then it wouldn't have
Crisco, baby.
Ink. All right, that makes sense. I'm gonna try that tomorrow.
Yeah, Dylan, make us a video, please. I think is what Andy usually says. We'll do that. Okay. Art department, having a status review, checklist and files for separation. Having a section at art department, no. Mocks are measured, no. Okay.
I hope whoever made those ones watches this and watch you breeze through them.
Andrea, I love you, but this hammer dog shit. Okay. One time I walked into my art department and I walked in, I said, literally, this is honest to God truth. I said, whoever made this is hammered dog shit. And one of my designers started crying and I left and I came back with an iPad Pro and I said, I'm sorry. And she forgave me. She doesn't work at Oklahoma Shirt Company anymore, but that's a great story I love to tell. Okay. Marketing shop hacks. Have a better business card than anyone else in the room, which is good. This is from Quint. Do your homework and research before you have a scheduled meeting with a new prospect. You know, so if you're trying to woo somebody or win somebody, they don't give a crap about you. You give all the craps about them. So do a little research and come into that meeting informed.
Agreed.
Your Google My Business profile is one of the most important ways to find new business.
Our own. So my Google My Business profile.
I actually work on ours. I post to it. You can like make posts and put up new images all the time. I post to it.
Yeah. It's a big deal, you know, for people that don't give a crap about us and like our businesses, that Google is the new Yellow Pages. And if you haven't figured that out already, then you're wrong. You don't have to pay for Google content, but like you should have more, like you should figure out how to have more reviews in your market than any other screen printer in your market. Like, don't worry about trying to beat us or beat ShirtCong or beat Upstate or beat Printed Threads. No, just like recognize what city you're in and be the most liked printer in your town, according to Google, and it will bode well in your favor.
Agreed.
Lastly, Quint says,
thumbs up.
Bonus round, drink half of your body weight in ounces of water and always know where the exits are.
Those are my kind of tips.
And done.
I like that.
Okay. Do you have time left or no?
Yes, I want to. And my wife will be mad at me later, but this is worth it. I want to do this all night with you guys.
Well,
we don't have to do quick takes. We can just go straight to the last question.
No, do it. Hit me.
He wants it. Don't fucking.
I want it. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Well, we have 45 questions here in the next round.
I still got some Grey Goose left. Grey Goose.
Dylan, you want to start? Number
Bring
one.
it up. Oh, God. Coffee or tea?
My Grey Gooses.
Or Grey Goose?
I love them both. I'm an opportunistic coffee and tea drinker. I don't make it at home, but if it's available, I will take advantage of it. So both. Okay, especially tea Java.
Right. Tea Java.
Best recent read?
The Bible. Duh. Beyond after the Bible, then I really liked, I'm reading this book called The Power of Now, which is a book that none of y'all should probably read. It's a book my stepdad gave me about like appreciating the power of meditation and like finding your true spiritual self, which is cool. I read Faster Than Normal. It's a book that Ryan Moore insisted that I read. And it's about, you know, if you're an ADD shop owner, if you are just like all over the place all the time, even if you're not, Faster Than Normal is a great one. And also, I was super proud of you guys that the first book that you dove into for your book club was Chris Voss's book. It's insane. It's so good. That book was the first book that I had to read when I joined my business advisory group. So you guys started off really, really strong.
Apparently Ryan has read that 7 times or something.
Yeah,
yes.
That's what he said.
Yes. You should read it. I do the Power of Now, and Never Split the Difference. Like, you should read those two things. As far as I'm concerned, like, those for me are once a year books, because it's like, how can you expect me not to read that? So it's, Chris Voss is a god, and the Never Split the Difference is so good. Next.
Oh shit, I'm next. God damn it. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self? He's really thinking about this one.
Take your time. Dude. Yeah, that's a
lay down and meditate.
Dude, like, at the end of the day, it's about people. Like, your grind only goes so far, but it's lonely if you grind by yourself. And I would say, like, don't forget, I've been such a dick to my wife because in the like pursuit of my grind, and it sucks. And like, I'm still doing it, but it's just slow down. Be grateful and appreciate the people that you're doing it with, and be quick to apologize, and know that, like, how you think something should be done is not necessarily always the best way.
Hey, Andy, I'm glad I get to grind on you.
I'm blushing, but I really like what you said. That slow down part's my favorite.
Don't want to grind on me, I guess.
I think, I really do. Dylan, I can't remember what I was going to say. So we'll go to the next question.
Oh, I love it. I love messing you up.
But slow down, because even I used to want to be further along. And when when times were tough and I'm like, well, fuck, I'm in this garage and it's hot as shit. I can't wait to have a shop and all this kind of stuff. Well, those days were actually like precious, like really great days, like exciting, like as hellish as some of those were. I was living, Livin. Next question.
Dude, when someone says, like, stop and smell the roses, like that, like, I have roses like tattooed all over my body for this very reason. Like,
so I'm supposed to smell your body?
I'm kidding. Let's smell this buffalo.
Come a little closer.
No, but like, just slow down. My kids, every time my son is 7, when I hold him, he wants to cuddle with me right now. And I just smell him. I just breathe my son, because like, he's not always going to be 7. And and my daughter thinks that, like, she wants me to come sing and pray with her at night. And so I just try to, like, I'm missing it, but I'm trying to occasionally, like, just stop and breathe in this goodness, because it's not always going to be here. And when you look back, when you finally arrive and feel like, okay, like, I don't have to grind anymore, you're almost dead. And now you, like, want to go fuck with your kids, and they have their kids and they have their own life and they have all these things. And it's just like, so I'm really trying to, like, live, and that's hard for me, but I live a very distracted life, but I want to be present with all of the people that have given me themselves so freely over the years.
And the cats and the cradle and the silver.
And the silver spoon.
This is me, right? No, is it you?
It doesn't matter.
All
okay,
right.
I'll go. Okay.
What's the most Oklahoma thing you do? Is there an Oklahoma thing?
I think I try to not be Oklahoma. I try to be like,
I don't know anything about Oklahoma, honestly.
I don't either.
I don't either. Same. What's the most Oklahoma thing that I do?
Do they have like a special food in Oklahoma?
I like to deer hunt. I like to hunt and do like, we like to like shoot animals that deserve to live, like some redneck shit. That's probably like, I love
just say redneck shit. Yeah.
Redneck shit.
There you
come
go.
to Eufaula, you're going to get some Oklahoma love for sure.
Okay. Andy,
what would you say is the best lesson running a print shop has taught you?
That this is good. The greatest lessons that I've learned in business often come at the expense of other people's careers.
Is that it?
Trying to make sense of that. Say it again.
So like the greatest lessons I've learned in business or in print shop management often come at the expense of other people's careers. So I'm not going anywhere. So like people that have worked for me that have been buttheads, like I've been a butthead, I've been a monster. I've been worse to the people that have worked for me than I've been to any other human being on the face of the earth, because you're in it with people and day in and day out, day in and day out. And I'm just like, I give them all of myself, and that does damage to people. And then they leave, and then I reflect and I say, shit, I could have handled that very, very differently. And if I did, it may have prolonged that person's time here. It may have like made our relationship better, building more trust, or it may have helped the customer. Like my mistakes, like often, cause people to leave, or they used to, like I would make a call, or I'd make a decision, or I'd make this is the hill I'm going to die on, fuck you. And then that person ends up leaving, and that sucks.
Yeah. I think the best lesson in that anyway is what you just said, is that you used to do that more, because I've made those same mistakes, but I've learned from them. I think that's the important part, because there's no playbook necessarily. I mean, like you said, way at the beginning of this, if you want to leave and become a screen printer, that's fine, but you're going to not be a screen printer. And so, we spend most of our days not doing what we originally started this for. And so, I mean, we figure it out along the way, and so, kudos to you getting better. Next question.
Trying.
Do you have any irrational fears?
Loneliness and spiders. Fuck spiders. Like I don't do anything alone. Movies, lunch, like it's a bad thing. One of the bucket list items I need to do in my life is like go somewhere for a week by myself. And it sounds like hell, but it would be really good for me, because I rely on all of the people around me to give me energy and to keep me entertained and to be with me. And it makes life easier, but I don't like to be alone ever.
Well, you have to wait until you have a wet dream and then go down the Amazon.
He has no context to what you're talking about.
What do you mean? What's this nocturnal emission you speak of?
Let's just leave it alone. Like, make him figure it out.
He's gonna be like,
that's some McConaughey shit. Andy, y'all are reading his book.
There you go. Otherwise, like, Andy asked me the weirdest question. All right. What would you be doing if you weren't printing shirts?
I'd be a doctor.
You would have gone.
Do you really feel like you would have went through with that? Yeah.
It was hard, but I was distracted. And I think that if I didn't have any other distraction, then I would have pushed through. It was hard.
What kind of doctor would you?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Don't say
probably
don't.
Podiatrist.
There you go, my boy.
Full circle.
My boy. No, I wanted to do either emergency medicine or I wanted to be a surgeon. And like a general surgeon. And emergency medicine, I heard a guy talk about, he was an emergency medicine doctor and he had severe ADD like me. And he stopped taking medication and it was really, it served him really well to be in the emergency department because you never knew what was coming through. And
I feel like that would be the most fun is just like seeing crazy shit coming through the emergency room.
All right.
In a big city.
Right.
Dr. J. Next question.
What would you say is your spirit animal?
Dragon.
He went right for dragon.
No,
He knew.
No hesitation.
Yep. He didn't even let me finish. What would you say is your spirit dragon?
Dragon.
Dragons.
There it is. Look at that.
For those listening and not watching, we're seeing a really
Justin's showing us some graphic parts of his body that have dragons on it.
Yeah.
Dragon. What was your question, Dylan?
That was it. Spirit animal.
Dragon.
All right.
We already had that question, so it's the last one.
Oh, we're there.
We're there.
Where are you going to dinner and what are you eating?
This place called Maria. She reminds me of a West Side Story. No, it's called Maria, and it's this nice Italian restaurant at this resort we're staying at.
That makes sense. Italian food in Mexico.
In Mexico, right? I bet it's really good.
Perfect.
I'm sad this is over.
I know. Well, what are we at time-wise? We got to beat...
home now is 3 hours.
So fine.
2:41. That's pretty good.
He just left.
He's done. He's out.
Dude, fuck you guys. I'm out of here.
All right. We're done here.
No, really though. I'm not going. Sorry. I'm trying to move to an iPad and I got the, and so I have this like mouse.
Oh, so you're taking us to dinner with you.
You want to go? My wife would love it.
I bet. We were talking about how that work-life balance you need to work on a little bit.
That's right.
No, I told my family. So my brother-in-law is here with his beautiful wife and my wife. And they said, why do you have to do a podcast at 4 p.m. on our last day in Mexico for upwards of 3 hours potentially? And I said, because it's a real big deal. And I was really honored to be asked to be on here. And I respect these guys. And I could have rescheduled, but I really no, I'm honored to be here. Like, you guys are doing something so great. And I love listening to what it is that you're doing. And I love supporting y'all, and y'all are real people. And I love this. I think that what you guys are offering for our industry is very, very special and very unique and needed. And it's not like fueled by some equipment salesman, or it's not fueled by you guys trying to make a dollar. It's just like, hey, let's get on here, hang out, shoot some shit, and be a little irreverent and be honest about our print shops. And that just hits me it checks all the boxes for me. And so I love what you guys are doing. And I wish you the best. And I hope that I can't wait till our next trade show so I can kiss both of you on the mouth.
We're not waiting for a trade show. We're coming to Oklahoma next week, I think.
Wildboyz. I think we're coming to Oklahoma next week.
Maybe. I mean, I got to check with my wife, but yeah. All right, man, go enjoy your dinner. And we appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, by the way. I feel like this was a very in-depth episode of real talk and real feelings. So it was good.
Yeah. Thank you for the kind words. And thank you for sharing all of those shop hacks. There were some good ones in there for sure.
I think Justin is the king of shop hacks at this point.
Hey, Dylan, sorry, my AirPods were cutting out. What'd you say, Dylan?
King of shop hacks.
Did you say dong of shop hacks?
Yes. The biggest dong of shop hacks I've seen.
Look, I polished a bottle of Grey Goose with you guys.
It's going to be a fun dinner.
Dylan, can you do one thing for me?
Smell your rose?
Nope. Will you just join me?
No. There's too much of this.
Dylan.
I'll give
Andy,
you this
will you join me?
Sure.
Andy, will you join me?
Let's do this.
Dylan, don't be a bitch.
Except I don't have any
shirtless.
tats on my chest.
Come on. It's not about tats. It's just about being a wild boy. You want to talk about Wildboyz? Take your shirt off. Dylan. There it is. Yeah.
Get out of my chair.
Ooh, yeah. We're seeing some titties tonight from New York.
All right, what you got,
Yes.
Dylan? Oh, yeah.
Drippy D. What's Drippy D?
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
I can't hear.
I can't hear.
I can't
You
hear.
look good, Dylan. Oh, shoot.
Wait, I lost my audio. I got it back now, though.
Love you.
Love you.
Cheers.
Cheers.